caught me in midair! What the fuck? Fish. Sorry, I think I short-circuited for a second there.
That's like my whole thing.
Ignore whatever that's. Shouldn't be lagging. Like, my computer can play like Apex while streaming. So like
I've been told to play that several times.
Fuck me. Oh my god, I'm gonna die. Okay, I need this. No! No! Oh my god, I'm dead! No! I had to start again. No. Goal is to not die. Oh no. No, not that. Not that, guys. Not that, guys. Guys, that is not a good effect to use right now. Sir, I can't see. Oh god, I'm gonna die. Oh shit! I can't see! Oh!
If you ain't first, you're last.
No! Where am I? Oh, thank god I'm still up here! Oh my god! How am I fucking live?
Oh my god, none of those pings work.
Welcome back for today's top 10 hexing should really have made progress.
I tried to do the pings, didn't work.
Before we continue, make sure to press the like button and subscribe for more screaming content.
At some point, we need to make a ping for the the podcast. That'd be good. Ah well. Future problems. Alright, I need to move. Yeah.
Damn it.
Surely I can make this, right? Surely I can make this. Haha! Yes! Get fucked! Aha! What?! What the fuck just happened?! I remember the music this time. Hooray!
No poison mushroom. What?
No! Yeah, last time I was like, I forgot to hit the music on my thing.
No, this isn't the time! This isn't the time for reverse control!
I have a big list of
This
just
isn't the
like
time!
non
I don't know where I am reverse.
non-copyrighted because I just forget to play it some.
I don't know where I am!
Hey friends!
Everything is reversed. I don't know where I am. Please turn.
Frogny.
Please be high enough still.
I can't hear you yet, man. You can hear me.
Where is it? No, it's over there, bro!
It's also ads right now. He might not be able to hear me either.
What's right there? Oh, reverse my controls, brother!
It is? You might need to refresh.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you might need to refresh. Yeah. Somebody put at everybody in underneath my post on Discord. Because why not? Just one more time, and then we'll talk about doing a ping next week.
No! Ow! I stepped on that. That's compulsive.
Underneath the
Oh,
general
guys.
post.
They're
Nah, that's
surfing
underneath the
on
general post
land.
in Leaf Gang.
You
Well,
see
we
that?
did it at everyone last time. We
Oh,
should just
God,
make a
look.
see if everyone wants a podcast
Did I die?
thing in the future, podcast roll.
I died after the guy.
We'll talk about that next week. I tried to ping you guys as like names, but apparently I can't use your pings, which is weird.
Oh, come on. How could this possibly not?
Not sure why that's a thing, but hey, it's
The
fine.
fuck was that?
It's fine. Alright. Such a good series. What the fuck is happening with my background right now? Oh, there it is. It was like broken for a second. It's fine. Everything's fine. Hello, everybody. Let me unmute you guys because I think you're still muted. Yeah.
Oh.
All right, there we go. Hello, everybody.
Oh, this time they can hear me. Hello.
Let GLaDOS introduce today's episode.
Welcome to another episode of Herbs and Spices. Today's experiments will be discussing the upcoming Switch 2 launch, titled Mario Kart World. How thrilling.
True.
Our host. Experiments for today's test are the Broken AI, known as Hexadecimal, the Marbles Master, and Musical Madman, Optimitron, and finally, the Void, King and Pixel Art Machine, Sigmund Freud.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Herbs and Spices. Today we will be talking about Mario Kart and all the Mario Kart things. Our hosts today are me, Hexadecimal, and you guys introduce yourselves.
I'm myself.
He's himself.
He's himself. Hi, I'm Optometron, but the Optometron with shorter hair this time.
Shorter hair Optometron.
Yeah.
It's like a DLC, right?
I'm the new younger version.
DLC unlocked Young Opto.
Yeah. We gotta get ready for that Switch 2.
Yeah, I'm Freud, the even younger Freud.
The even younger Freud.
I don't know. And I'm also looking forward to Switch 2. And I still haven't gotten a trailer. God damn it.
Me either.
Same. Same.
I'm assuming I probably won't be getting Switch 2 on launch, but you know, it is what it is. I'm not the only one dealing with that.
Did either of you get the Switch 1 on launch?
Oh, I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Mostly because I really wanted to play Mario Maker 2.
I got my Switch on Wish when Wish.com was still a thing. Not kidding. I bought my Switch on Wish and I've never had a problem with it, except the dock finally like burn out at one point. The swish, yes. Yeah. It was a gamble. It was risky, but I did it and it worked out great.
It could have been a rock, but instead it was a Switch.
Yeah.
All right.
True.
So our first talking points for Mario Kart World. This is basically going to be an exclusive, just Mario Kart World talking. There's a lot to talk about with that game, so probably going to just be a lot of things to talk about. There's been a billion videos already, and there are things that I just I think it would be pretty good for just a full conversation. At the end of the stream, we can talk a bit about rumors and other things for Switch stuff coming up right at the end. But mostly we're just going to talk about Mario Kart World.
Let's do it. What you guys
Our
got?
first talking points for today will be the number of racers, larger lobby sizes for streamer community events and tournaments, and the different game modes to play.
Yeah. So we're just gonna talk about like just the courses in general. Like, what do you guys think about just the courses? Like, well, not the courses, not the courses. Sorry, the amount of people that can play the game. Like, what do you think about the number of players?
24, right? It
Yeah.
says you and 23 other friends, 24 people on a course. I think that's awesome. I kind of, not to defend them for their plan to release 480p cameras, but I guess it would be easier to keep up with 24 cameras at 480p than it
Well,
would
the thing
be.
is, even like if you buy a better camera, they still work. Like, you can just buy a better camera. So it's not even like, there's really no justification for the bad camera for like that shit, but it's whatever. That's just Nintendo hardware. Like, they said to sell cheaper versions of stuff with this like aesthetics, which they've kind of always done. Except for their new controller.
Right.
Their new controller is sick. One of the best controllers for the price I've seen, like with back pedals and everything. Like, apparently that controller is pretty comparable for what people have play tested it for to be like a $300 controller. So I'm actually excited for the new Pro controllers. They look actually amazing.
Do they have the Hall effect joysticks?
I'm not 100% sure. I have to look into
I
that.
believe they don't, but they have some alternative thing
See,
that they
that-
might have patented.
Because that bothers me. Because for like $11, I got some Hall effect joysticks and put them into my Joy-Cons on my Switch. And I mean,
have heard that
so
they
it-
are a lot better than they used to be. For whatever they've changed,
Yeah.
they're a lot more solid from people playtesting with them.
I
For the amount of
imagine
players,
it's-
I kind of... Go ahead, Ford.
I just wanted to say I could believe that the issue with the controller, like with how effective in the controllers, is the magnets.
Yeah. That's actually
the
pretty
magnets
interesting.
are different,
The
but-
magnet stuff with the controller is interesting. I think the magnets are going to slowly like get weaker over time and eventually just fall out. That's what I think is going to happen.
I mean, they have to design it to break down at some point, or else what's going to keep? I mean, they want to be able to market you. They want you to buy more, right?
Instead of
So
drift, we're going to have the drop where they just fall out
Yeah.
of the system.
that would be amazing.
Okay, but the amount of races, I think on the one hand it's going to be way more difficult to keep track of everything, but at the same time, do you need to keep track of everything except what is
Where you are.
around you?
Yeah. I think the amount of players is pretty interesting. I kind of wish that they had added a 99 mode. I'm kind of disappointed they didn't. They added something kind of like a 99 mode with the long race stuff, but we'll get into them when we talk about modes later. 24 is good. I'm glad that they doubled the amount, but I still think they could have probably done more. I feel like they could have easily just done like 36 or something like that. I think that 24, it's cool that they went up, but I feel like they could have done more. Like, honestly,
I
but
feel like they didn't want to go too far yet. They just want to see
Yeah.
if 24 is even reasonable.
even fun. I realized that they had to redesign
Yeah.
a lot to get 24 players to even work, because they had to make
Right.
like the courses bigger and stuff, which is fine. We'll also talk about that when we get to like courses and stuff.
You can imagine bigger streamers, like somebody like Barb playing Mario Kart and having like 100 people from chat join in. That'd be insane.
That'd be sick. Which I think that'd be cool if they added something like that later. Like if they added like more player room ability later on, if the game gets popular, that'd be cool. Because there's nothing that stops them from adding like more player options later. Like they can always
Yeah.
do that, like, especially if it looks like people want it. I will say, just for like the idea of like community stuff, for things like tournaments and just community nights, I think Mario Kart's gonna be really fun. There's like, not only can you have more people join now, but I think the hype for this game is gonna be pretty like big when people are actually gonna want to play and stuff. So I think it's gonna be pretty easy to get 24 people in most games. I think, especially just like streamers playing together and having community nights. I think that's gonna be pretty sick.
Except for the three of us who don't have pre-orders yet, it's gonna be a while before we can
Yeah,
go.
but when you think about it,
Yeah.
like it's gonna be years of people playing Mario Kart, not just the first week.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Depends a lot on how the launch goes, though. Like, if the launch of this game is like kind of meh, I could easily see that you just can't get the lobbies
We'll
for it.
see. I mean,
But that's
a lot of people are kind of doomsaying this game a lot, which I'm like, eh. Also, who is giving me reverb for the background? Somebody's mic is picking me and Opto up, I think, or at least me.
Testing. Can you hear echo when I talk?
No. Hello.
Okay.
But I can't hear echo from me when I talk.
I don't know. I got your stream pulled up. That's muted. I've got OBS pulled up, and so I can hear through OBS, but there's no additional
like-
audio
it's very-
coming through. That's weird.
It's very slight, but I can hear it.
Hmm.
Mute yourself for a fast Opto. Let me see if it's actually coming from Freud.
Okay.
Hello. Hello. No, it's definitely Opto.
Oh no.
Hello. Yeah, I'm not sure.
So I have it set to the monitor from my Wave XLR. So let's do this. What if I'll just go raw voice and then pull it straight from my mic. All right, now test it.
Hello. Yeah, it's gone now.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, cool.
It's has something to do with my monitor system.
All right, no
I'll
problem.
figure that out later.
Yeah. Yeah, I just heard like a weird. I didn't hear it earlier when we were talking, and then when we went live, I started hearing it. So I was like, "What the fuck?"
You might be able to hear me breathe now, but other than that,
Dang.
I know. I'm sorry.
Opto ASMR, let's go.
I know.
But I think the idea of like tournaments for like streamers is gonna be really cool too. Not just like playing with communities and community nights, but I think tournaments for streamers are gonna be pretty sick too. 24 streamers battling it out, especially in the new game mode for eliminations. That'll be really fun. Just seeing like streamers battle it out would be pretty sick. I think that will. I love competition. So like I'm a big competition person as somebody who played like Smash Brothers like tournaments for years and years. Like competition is like a big thing for me. And even in something like quote unquote casual like Mario Kart, I feel like there's plenty of room for competition.
I agree. I think doing what they're going to be doing with this is going to increase the playtime as well per session. You know, because if you think about Mario Kart 8, if you do a 4 race, like whatever, not tournament, a Grand Prix or whatever, how long does that normally take? Like 10 minutes maybe to do 4 courses? Like maybe a little bit longer. Like it goes by pretty
20.
quick. Yeah. And so with this, like I feel like it's going to increase at least double that. You know, if you're going to do 4 races through these courses, you're probably going to play more like a Mario Party round where it's going to be 45 to an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have an interesting thought.
Go ahead.
I was waiting for a moment to bring this up. It gives me really heavy Diddy Kong Racing vibes, right? Because for real, Diddy Kong Racing had an over. All the courses were like spread out over the world. There would be a loading screen and you would go into the level once you got there. But I kind of feel like that's conceptual wise, that's kind of like what they wanted. And I really like that going into Mario Kart World. I think this is going to be amazing and kind of be what they wanted Diddy Kong Racing to be.
It is similar because they have like the different car modes. Now they're more like planes and less like gliders, and they become like boats. Which is pretty sick. That is very different. I do like the idea that they kind of got some inspiration from Diddy Kong. It definitely does feel more like that kind of game because it doesn't have like the F-Zero style like zero gravity stuff anymore. So it definitely feels a lot more grounded. When it comes to like modes and stuff though, are you guys excited for any of the different modes that they kind of showcase that are new? But like the elimination mode is probably the thing I'm looking forward to the most because you can really like, I feel like it's one of those things that you kind of like, if you're playing by yourself, one of the worst parts about playing Mario Kart as a streamer is playing, losing, and then being stuck in the lobby until you lose, because like you can tell when you're not gonna win that game if you lost twice real hard. Then you kind of just either leave and be a jerk because leaving makes you look bad, and it kind of just sucks for the other people playing, or you just stick it out and you know you're gonna lose anyway, and it feels bad. But I feel like
Fortnite.
yeah. But I feel like the elimination mode fixes that, because now if you just get eliminated, you just move on to another elimination mode game, right? You instantly just leave, you continue on, or if you're winning, you just keep playing until you get eliminated, which I feel is gonna feel a lot better as a streamer to play, because you don't have to worry about playing until you lose, and then you just go to the next thing. It's gonna be a lot more snappy and fun. And I think more enjoyable to watch.
Like, the pace is completely different than that. Like, compared to having to wait out until the game ends, you just have that pace of like, oh, this is, every step could be the loss, and you just...
Yeah. To be fair, that's kind of like Fortnite, because like, you die and you just start a new match. And I think that's one of the things that made Fortnite very attractive as a streaming game, is that it's you play and you either win or you die quick enough to where you just start a new match. Like, and it's constant. You're just constantly getting matches that way. It's quick, it's fast. I feel like the elimination mode in Mario Kart fixes a lot of like streaming issues I have with the game, because now you can kind of have the mode you play when you're streaming alone, and then you have the modes for like tournaments or community nights where you have either the battle mode or regular races for Grand Prix. And the Grand Prix have like all these cool like new customization things where you can like Grand Prix any combination of different course that connects to each other. So you can have different kinds of Grand Prix and shit now, which is really sick. So like you can have like a bunch of mixed Grand Prix, which because of the way that they set up the new map, which I think is sick as hell. So you can really like add variety to like how the maps play together and which way you're going on the maps and stuff, which is sick. But yeah, like I think that's pretty cool.
I agree. I definitely think that it's punishing the player and making them wait, you know what I mean, is awful. So the fact that they're gonna have it to where you can just immediately move on to the next thing is a really great idea. One example of what, like League of Legends, I know that if they punish you hard. Like if you quit out of a game, like I don't know if you can't play. We got League of Legends in here, right?
Oh no, they stop you from playing for a while. Like they give you like they give you like a queue thing where you have to wait.
Grief timers. Yeah. See, that sucks. It's like you lost or whatever. Or like, what if you got something going on? Seeing like, I'm sorry, I got to quit out of the game. Somebody's at my front door. You know what I mean? The fact that they punish you like that is awful.
I think that it makes sense because of how competitive League of Legends is. Like leaving a game and getting a bot instantly makes everyone else lose that game. So like, it kind of sucks, but like, I understand why League is the way it is. Like it's not, it's not great, but like, yeah. And they kind of do that in a lot of competitive games, to like shooting games. If you just straight up leave, they'll just like have you. It's not. I think it's like a lesser extent than like shooting games, but they'll still stop you from playing for like 15 minutes if you quit too much. So it makes sense.
Except for Fortnite.
Yeah, I mean Fortnite's different because it's just like an arena thing. If you just, I mean, I think it also depends. I think if you're in team play Fortnite, if you leave, you will actually get punished. If you're in solo queue, you won't.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, because you're leaving a random queue for like multiple people. So if you leave, you automatically give them a disadvantage against every other team. So like I think they'll just be like, if you do that, I don't think it's like the first time you do it. I think it's like every couple times. If you start doing it like too many times, they'll just be like, okay. But it doesn't count if you're dead. I think if you die and you leave, it's fine. If you just leave, you get punished. Which makes sense to me, because if you die, you can't get revived in that game. It's not like Apex where you can get revived.
So I'm wondering if there's going to be any sort of punishment, and like if you join a random lobby in Mario Kart World,
and then
you know what I mean? Like,
I I mean, I guess
I
we'll
don't
see.
know.
Mario's
It doesn't feel like something Nintendo would do.
Nintendo is so casual. I don't even think they have a punishment system in Splatoon.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nintendo doesn't. It doesn't feel like something Nintendo would do just because they are so casual about. They don't think about competitive gaming the same way.
I'll fix that sentence for you. They don't think about competitive gaming.
They don't.
Well, I mean,
Wait. The NES World Championship game. Come on now. They do think a little bit about being competitive. Speed running.
Speed running. That's the
They got a
only
little bit
time.
in there.
All right. Do you guys have anything else that you want to bring up for like community events or tournaments or game mode stuff? Like the, I mean, they haven't really added much to the battle system, which I was kind of sad about. There's no like real, from what I could tell, there's no new modes or anything different in the battle mode, which is sad because battle mode is like one of my favorite things to do.
have they shown anything of battle mode yet?
They have.
Yeah, have they?
And they haven't really shown anything different.
But is it spread across the world? Because imagine if the entire map, you have the entire world, right? And you have 24 people that start off in different areas of the map.
They haven't shown.
Again,
they haven't
Right, it's just
shown.
Fortnite.
They haven't shown. They haven't shown anything about like the levels for battle mode, so maybe that's something they're hiding.
because that would be awesome.
If they do
just
have something like Fortnite by Mario Kart, I'd be in. Like, give me everyone falling in from the sky and like getting power ups on the map, and then trying to take each other out in this giant battlefield that slowly has like the world collapsing around it.
Yeah.
That would be sick.
But
I'm pretty sure they're saving that for the new Kirby era, right?
Right, probably.
Fun too.
Or if they gave the option, right? Like if they could make it to where in battle mode you can make it to where the world shrinks to like make a finite end. You know what I mean? So this is only going to take this long before the last players are in contact with each other. Or if you could turn that off and you just have to keep driving endlessly until you find the last person.
The giant. You know what I actually want? And this isn't a game mode, but it would be fun to play with a bunch of people and play hide and seek in different areas with the carts because of how big the world is. I want to do that.
Oh, that would be awesome.
So I do actually, in the open world stuff, I do want to play hide and seek. I think that would be fun.
That would be really fun. It'd be awesome.
Considering how they did modded Mario Odyssey with people doing hide and seek, I feel like Mario Kart hide and seek in the open world would be pretty sick. If they like just sections, that'd be pretty awesome.
We all know how Nintendo deals with really well-made mods, though. They don't.
Well, this isn't a mod. It's part of the game. Like, you can do multiplayer in the open world, so it's fine. Like.
Right.
I don't know how many players you can have in the open world, though. They never said. The amount we've seen is 6, but we don't know if you can have up to 24. Maybe you can. They haven't explained. That's another thing they haven't said.
That would be a tragedy if you couldn't have up to 24 people in the open world. That'd be rough.
Yeah. We have no idea, though. They just haven't released that information. They just like, we know we've seen 6, but we haven't seen more than that. So we don't know if there's like a cap to how many people could be in the open world or not. We don't know yet. But I do still want to play hide and seek in Mario Kart open world. It sounds fun.
Yeah, it sounds amazing.
Especially with all the ways you can like wall jump and stuff now. So like you can definitely get to weird places.
I'm excited about that to see how if you can break the game essentially. You know what I mean? Like break your way out of the map and stuff from wall jumping.
Well. To be fair, LO said it'd be imagine not being able to do that. But like in the Pokemon game, you can only have 4 people, and they have a big open world too. So
sure.
I could somewhat understand that because it's a different vibe compared to a race.
Yeah,
it would be more appropriate to have less people that you just casually explore instead of like.
I agree.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's not sugarcoat that.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have anything else to talk about for amount of players and events that you guys might want to do or game mode stuff?
No, I'm just more interested. I want to find out more about the battle mode because again, I think that'd be really cool if they do it like traditional Mario Kart, where it's a much smaller quarantine course for battle modes. I feel like they're missing a huge opportunity there.
Yeah.
Agreed.
We'll see, I guess. I kind of hope they do a battle mode where it's like the cities, because like they do have the courses in cities. So I hope maybe it's just like in the whole city, like a battle of the area. You know what I mean? Like they cordon off that whole zone. That'd be kind of sick.
Yeah.
Like, because the map is broken up into like zones. So I kind of hope they do something like that.
It'd be a good middleman. I mean, that definitely would be a good middleman. But I mean, also Nintendo, and so until we see it, I mean, it could just be okay. Here's a map with 2 levels, like 2 tiers or whatever, and some ramps, and you're just gonna go collect balloons and shoot each other, which is fun. But
Yeah.
it's Mario Kart World. We need give us
world.
give us the
Let's
world,
talk about
right?
something else now. For the next
All
set
right.
of talking points, let's discuss the
Okay,
new
Klaus.
tracks and how they are connected, vehicles and their stats, characters and their stats.
Yeah, let's talk about like just the tracks, how they're connected through the world, which is really cool. And then there's like vehicles and characters and stuff.
Yeah. Here's my worry.
Fringe just got here.
Hey, Fred.
Um, okay, here's my worry with this, right? What I'm worried about is the tracks are going to be mostly just straight paths. Like, I don't know if that's the case, but a lot of it indicates that they're going to be a lot more straightforward compared to what we had before. I think they made a statement somewhere about doing that partially because they didn't want the tracks to be so confusing in an open world where you can drive theoretically anywhere.
Yeah.
How you then limit the track to be only in certain areas.
From
And I'm
what
worried that
I've
Yeah.
seen, I think that they're just emphasizing less on like drifting in this game, so there's not like a whole lot of like sharp turns like there used to be. And I think that's kind of fine for some stuff because Mario Kart is still like a bunch of like shit going on all over the place, and the courses are wider, and there's a lot more obstacles from what I can tell, like in the courses, like enemies and cars and other stuff, like in between the worlds and all other stuff, and then there's like a bunch of multiple paths. And I think this game is more about multiple paths and shortcuts than it is about, oh no, I turned too hard and I fell off the course and died, now I'm last.
I reversed for 3 seconds and it DC'd me from the game.
Yeah, something like that. Like,
no.
from what I can tell, it's just like they're taking a lot of the sharp corners out of the game. There are still twists and turns from like levels I've seen, but they aren't like abrasively hard turns anymore. And I think that's maybe a detriment in some ways because people do like the very sharp, like accelerations and things like that, and that sort of thing. So maybe that does take a bit out of some of the racing. But I also think that a lot of people hate that shit too, because like if you make one slight mistake going at like 200cc, you basically just lose.
Yeah, exactly.
I can see that.
The courses are wider. I think it's basically just gonna be, instead of it, oh no, it's just straight, I think it's gonna be like, oh no, you have to like go different paths and decide if you want to go up on this wire, or you go on this wall, or you like slide across the side of a building, or you jump over this gap to get somewhere easier, and like you take risks that way. And those are going to be like the risks rather than just perfect turning, accelerate. Like, I feel like that's going to be like the difference. Because like the last Mario Kart was a lot more similar to like F-Zero in a lot of ways. So
Yeah,
I feel
I
like
can see
this
that.
Mario Kart's going back to more of a Mario Kart style of thing. It's more Mario Kart than it's been in a while. And I realize 8 is very popular for what it is, but it's not like 8's going away. People can still play 8 if they wanted to. But
Yeah.
I feel like this is just going back to more of a traditional kart racing game where like they have more traditional style levels, and they wanted to make it more grounded in like the way that their kart stuff is.
It's
See,
just weird.
oh.
Go on, sorry.
No, you go ahead, Sigmund.
It's just weird because like the style we had in 8, we pretty much had for what we had pretty much since I've been playing Mario Kart, right? A lot of this sort of focus on drifting and more creative tracks has been around for such a long time now with DS, Wii, especially 3DS.
But I think that's kind of fine though, right? Because like mixing up how things work is good for a game.
Yeah,
It is.
Because
The more variables you add,
they
then
actually. Sorry, go ahead, Opto.
I was just gonna say, the more variables you have, the more replayability there is. You know what I mean? If there's only so many things you can do in the game, then people will get tired of it. But if all these extra variables, the fact that you can mix up the tracks and customize a lot of stuff. One thing I was gonna bring up is you mentioned the stats, like bringing up player stats. Like, I'm really curious to see how that's gonna be, because like the tryhards that are gonna come in and max out stats day one, are people gonna be able to even hang with those people coming in for the first time?
We don't know anything about the. We do know that all the characters have stats, and there's more characters now, which is crazy.
Right.
So that's always been a thing in Mario Kart, where vehicles have their own stats, and then like characters have their own stats, and we have no idea how that's gonna play out in this game. We do know some of the stuff is missing from the stat menu, so we still can't see some of it. So like some of the stats that used to be there in 8 are missing, but we know that they're still present in the game. We just don't know how they are affected. So that's gonna be like, people are gonna have to actually play that stuff out and see it. We're gonna have to like really figure it out. Like, is it gonna be like so much different for each character that you're gonna want to play a specific character still? Like, because that's kind of what happened in Mario Kart 8, right? Like everyone played Wiggler, like on Wiggler or something like that. Or this meta was Yoshi, or that meta was this, and like other stuff like that, depending on the CC you're playing. We don't really know like some of that stuff right now, but it is an interesting idea. Like, is Cow gonna be meta? Is everyone gonna be Cow? Like, we have no idea.
I could see them making Cow meta just because they can manipulate the stats to make characters meta. They did it in 8.
Yeah.
When they added the booster pass, because they didn't want Waluigi to be the meta anymore, they changed it to be more of a marketable character like Yoshi.
Yeah.
I love on the official Nintendo page for the pre-order for Mario Kart World, right at the very end, it talks about some of the new additions might surprise you, and then in parentheses it just says, "Is that Cow?" And that's how they end it. That's it. That's how it's so good.
Is that Cow?
Is that Cow? Like, everybody should know who Cow is.
I hate that they call it Cow.
Yeah.
It should be either Moo Moo Cow or just call it
Moo Moo
Cow.
It should just be Moo Moo, right? It's like they're called Moo Moos in Mario's lore.
I believe that's the name.
Right.
Yeah,
Moo
they're
Moo,
called
yeah.
Moo Moos, yeah.
I'm thinking, if you want to call it Cow, call it a cow. Make the entire joke.
Technically,
that it's just a generic cow.
we don't actually know if Cow is the name or if it's actually Moo Moo, because they didn't show it. They didn't show it at all. It could actually be called Moo Moo, and all the people on stream and shit are just calling it Cow.
Well, the official pre-order page says Cow, and it doesn't say a cow. It just says, "Is that Cow?"
It could also be one of those things where they call it Moo Moo in Japanese and Cow in English.
True. True.
But yeah, one thing I noticed is they removed the vehicle customization. Customization.
They did. They're making it less complicated for vehicle stuff, so you don't pick tires, you don't pick the other stuff anymore, like the gliders. It's all just part of the vehicle, which I think is fine. Less complication is good for that sort of stuff. I think that having all the like, what wheels are meta now with this character and all that's way too much complication. At least now it's vehicle, character, bam.
Yeah.
I'm split on that. On the one hand, I like the customization, just from the visual aspect as well, but also I agree it's kind of complicated.
Yeah.
And again, there's still so many hidden stats, which is frustrating.
Yeah, the fact that they've hidden some stats are kind of annoying.
Mario Kart 8 was defined by a hidden stat.
Yeah.
Like, there's a hidden mini turbo stat for how much you get turbo with each character. And that's hidden. You don't see that in
Shy
Mario
Guy
Kart
had
8.
an insanely high mini turbo stat, by the way. No one knows about that.
Yeah, I agree with Dan. They should just keep it cosmetic. I
They
definitely
should,
agree
but
with that.
they've never made Mario Kart just cosmetic. Also, we don't know if like costumes affect stats. They might.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's a
You
good
don't.
point.
Because technically costumes are a different character on the board from what they showed. Like when
Right.
you unlock costumes, they become like a different character. So it's like,
Oh.
is it a
What if
different stats for like different costumes? We have no idea.
Or what if it's area based? So like if you're in like the cold region or like the mountain region,
They
if
get,
you
like,
wear
buffs?
like you wear like
Oh,
a warmer
shit.
outfit, like you do better. Yeah. That would be crazy.
That would be a very
Kinda cool.
Nintendo thing to do.
How would that translate between the straight like the Grand Prix where you just link the courses together though? Like if you
Yeah.
have the ice level and the fire level in the same race, those 4 races,
The-
you have to make a decision
I love
what
the-
you're gonna
I
wear.
love the idea of the Snooki character just getting a debuff in the desert. He's driving through the desert and he
Slow.
just fucking melts.
Just sweating. Yeah, it's so good.
That would be funny.
It'd be great.
I mean, that adds a dimension and a layer of it gives another player another chance, right? So like this character does really well in most courses except for the fire level, right? Or the
Yeah.
desert. And then so, you know, that character may slow down in that area and that gives other players a chance to kind of catch up and it kind of
would be
evens out the playing
interesting.
field.
But they would also have to do that for like every character. I mean, like, you know, Mario would just be like the good of everything. He'd be like
Yeah.
the Ryu
the
of
overall.
racing.
It'd be so good.
You can only
But
get
I
in the
do think-
jungle.
What I do think is we probably get costumes based on the area the character's in. Like,
Yeah.
pick up food, the food is flavored based on where you are, and then you get a costume based on what you ate.
Yes. They have kind of showed off some of the map and locations, and we do know that they have like areas around, and then kind of like cities in each area where the main courses are. So like they do have like locations and stuff, which is really cool. Fred's a little quiet. Freud, talk louder.
Talk louder. I talk. I can talk. I talk as loud as I can. I actually could talk louder, but I don't want
Could you turn yourself up
It is-
slightly
It is
in
almost 8
Discord?
p.m. here. I can't be that loud.
I know. Can you turn yourself up slightly in Discord?
I don't know. Can I? Like this?
Yeah, there you go. Now you're about as loud as Opto.
Yay.
Sorry about
I
that.
can
That's
I
fine.
can be louder.
No, it's fine. not without your filter, you can't.
That's true. That's true.
I already hear enough
But,
breathing.
I know, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I could try to turn the Discord one on and see if that works.
That's fine. I'm just playing.
Okay.
So
but
back
yeah.
to stats. So like, there's a lot of vehicles. We know that already. So there's more vehicles than there are characters. So that's cool. And all the characters seem to have their own vehicles, which is also cool. So it's gonna be like at least 24 vehicles plus like probably another 24 vehicles, at least.
Is that what they're doing? The amount of people that you can have in a map is the amount of characters they're going with? That's pretty crazy.
No, I think there's like 37 or more characters. Was it 40? It might have been 40. So no, there are more than 24.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, oh, I guess that means there's gonna be more cards then, right? So like, there's at least 40 cards then.
That's insane. And that kind of does make up for them not doing the stats per vehicle. Like, I get it. You got your car guys, your Need for Speed guys that like want that
So they're gonna have the
customization.
stats, but they're just not gonna have you be like, you have 40 cars and you have 25 wheels and you have 17 fucking gliders.
Right.
And, like, cause that gets fucking insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go on.
Yes.
Go ahead, Freud.
Yes.
Are you talking?
Yes, Roy.
No, I wanted to say something, but I think I'll keep it for later.
Okay.
Fine. Keep your secrets.
Keep your secrets, Magic Man.
Keep your secrets.
I really like the new car designs. I think that the fact that they transform is really cool. I like the like they kind of did that in 8 in some ways. Like the wheels would like move weird and become like hover wheels, or they get like a little booster in the back. Now they really physically transform like actual transformers, like almost like spy cars. I think that's sick. Like the little wings like come out, like fold out from the sides, and like you get like propellers that like and like parts of a boat that like appears in the bottom, which is pretty sick.
Oh, Sonic Racing was so good. Yeah.
Sonic
Yeah,
Racing
I definitely
was
like that.
Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed was so good.
Yeah.
I really love that game.
I wonder if they have like inspiration for Sonic Racing to do that. It might have been like a thing. I mean, they are rivals like as companies still. So like I can
I'm
totally
sure-
see them taking inspiration.
It feels like this game has taken a lot of inspiration from different games. I think Nintendo and not to just keep throwing name dropping other games in there, but like I think Breath of the Wild was like a huge stepping stone for Nintendo with open world anything, and they realized how much potential it has, how much people love that and want that. You know what I mean? And then like looking back at, you know, again, Diddy Kong Racing.
Well, I mean,
like let's have kind of an open world, you know, for racing.
It's actually crazy that they like one of the things people were really wanting was an open world hub for this game. I know a lot of people were just like when they first announced it, before they knew how big it was, they were just like, man, I wish they had an open world hub like Diddy Kong Racing, and then they're just like giant world, and everyone's like, ah.
That I was gonna say something earlier. Imagine there's just like a Mii lobby where your Miis can go meet other people in Mario Kart World. And you have like 100 people just hanging out in the overworld.
Meat with 2 I.
Meat with 2 eyes.
Meat with 2 eyes.
Meat. Funnily enough, though,
Me dating.
They have said that I don't think there are gonna be Miis in this game. They said that they're trying to stick to more Mario IPs in this game and not have it be like Smash Brothers. So I don't think we're gonna get guest characters, and I don't think we're going to get Miis, because they're trying to keep it very much Mario franchised for this game, and that's why they have so many like enemy characters and stuff now, because they're just trying to keep it all like within the Mario Kart Mario World stuff.
I'm so split on that, because on the one hand, I really like that they used this game to kind of explore the Mario world, weirdly enough.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it feels like such a step backwards from Mario Kart 8.
It is funny to like look at the map and be like, that's the Mushroom Kingdom, and then you like look up and you're like, that's Bowser's Kingdom, and then you look on the sides and you're like, where the fuck are these?
Right.
Yeah.
No, that is kind of crazy. I didn't realize that. Looking at the cover, like I don't see Link on there anywhere. So like, is Link not going to be in it?
They pretty much said that Link's not in this game.
All Mario characters.
All Mario
Wow.
characters, yeah. It's really weird because I actually thought they were gonna go the opposite direction when I first like announced this game.
Yeah.
I thought they were gonna go like full Mario Party, like full Mario Kart, like Smash game. I thought they're gonna give us like Captain Falcon, Samus, and all sorts of other shit. I thought they were gonna go all crazy with it. Like
they're saving that for the DLC.
Maybe they will. Everyone is here. Yeah, that is exactly what I thought they were gonna do. I thought they were gonna be like, everyone is here, and you're like Fox characters with like tiny X-wings as like cars and shit like that, like, you know.
I think they probably, and this is just speculation, but on the back end of that and the business side, I bet you they just don't want to pay like the Zelda people to be able to use Link. You know what I mean?
That's not how that works. They own their key, they can do whatever they want.
It's more like they just don't want to ask me. They don't want to ask Miyazaki. They're like, please give us your things. Let us use Link again.
Exactly. Star Fox characters driving Landmasters. Star Fox would be amazing.
Dude, that's what I thought they were gonna do. I thought they were just gonna be like, all of our IP is Bayonetta's here. Let's go. Like,
yes. I don't know. I saw some screenshots of what Peach looks like from the back. If they put Bayonetta in there, it would probably break the internet.
Yeah, the fucking game just breaks.
That's the meta. It's just all Bayonetta.
She's perfect
Everybody.
for this game, though, man. She would strike so many poses on those ramps. Like, oh my god.
Yeah. It would be perfect. It would
no,
be.
My fault is I don't know how I feel about having so many characters. I'm gonna be completely honest, especially because so many of them are non-characters, right? A lot of them are just
Crab.
crap.
So you think they should have limited it down, like 10 you focus more on the open world aspect of it, and there's only 10 characters from people to choose from. I guess with that though, if I'm sorry, go ahead.
Maybe a few more characters, but not like. I just feel like there are a lot of characters that nobody is ever going to care for.
Baby
and I
Mario.
rather would have focused on characters that might be more, you know.
I mean, every Mario Kart's done that though. Like Hexen was saying earlier, I feel like every Mario Kart prior to this, people have like their one character that they go to, but then there are some characters that just never get used ever.
I think
that's a problem.
I think there's also just meme. I think that just having some of the enemies is hilarious because it's just memes. Like a Wiggler in the last game. Like everyone fucking loved Wiggler. Let's be honest. Everyone loved Wiggler.
It's true.
I think Cow, Wiggler. I think the dolphin on the dolphin cart. Like that's a great meme. That is hilarious. If they don't make Dolphin have a boosted speed being on top of Dolphin, they've messed up.
I have two thoughts to that. A, I think the issue for me more is how much they flooded with just generic enemies, because one or two generic enemies is fun. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
But when like half the roster is generic enemies, it's kind of like it loses
some things because obviously some people just aren't gonna play any of those characters. Like some of the characters are just so bad. Like who the hell is gonna be Goomba? Let's be honest. Who's gonna be I'm Goomba? This is my character.
List just like frantic items though, or customizing items and doing just the bullet bill and the lightning bolt. If you're in a party with friends, you guys could just have a gentleman's agreement to everybody choose like a Bowser henchman. You know, and then you have nothing but Koopas and Goombas and Wigglers out there. You know what I mean? That might be kind of a fun stipulation.
But yeah, the second thought is what is actually what I wanted to say earlier, which I said I would keep for later. Something that I kind of wanted since Mario Kart Wii is that certain characters just have their signature art and would get like a small bonus from it.
Yeah.
Like.
Or it's quiet again. He just gets quieter the more he talks. It's fine.
He does.
That's so weird.
The music a tad? Alright, yeah. I can lower the music.
I can also put myself up a bit more.
Music's down more. Is that better?
Some of these
characters.
Okay. Is this better?
Yeah.
Some of these characters are wild. Have you guys looked at the character list yet?
Oh yeah, the character list is crazy.
There's a mariachi Waluigi. It's so good.
We're gonna talk more about costumes later because we're gonna get into like unlockables and stuff like that like later on. Anything else we want to bring up for like cosmetics and stuff? Freud, did you have any more points to bring up? Or not cosmetics,
not really.
Character stats, vehicles, tracks. I have some more stuff to bring up about tracks.
Yeah, let's talk about tracks.
So like, it's not even like the tracks. I think the tracks are cool. They're all pretty thematic on their own, right? But I love the connectivity between the tracks, like the zones in between, because they're basically like more tracks, basically, like, right? Somebody was like doing the math, and apparently like between all the courses and the courses themselves, it's like 100 and something racetracks basically, because you have the tracks in between the tracks going to the other Grand Prix or the other Grand Prix courses. So like, if you count all of the in-between parts, the connected parts, it's like 100 and something, like, just extra racing, basically, which is crazy. Because they are basically, like, full-on courses. Like, they are long enough to be their own racetracks from, like, place to place. So instead of racing like 4 courses, you're really racing like 8 courses in Grand Prix and stuff like that. So like those paths are crazy.
Yeah, I'm excited that they're
Yeah.
gonna stack on top of each other. I think that's really awesome that you
Yeah.
can just go from one to the other.
And there's just like a bunch of different ways. So like that, what's cool is like depending on which courses are connected for your Grand Prix, they use different roads. So like you got like another different path to the city that you wouldn't have driven on the other path to the other city. So it's like in between different cities are different race courses pretty much. Like they all have their own kind of obstacles. They all have their own kind of bonus things that you can do, their own shortcuts. So the fact that there's like tons of crazy shit in between the courses adds a lot of crazy diversity and stuff, which is pretty wild.
So I've been thinking about that though. Like if we talked about punishment earlier for, like in the older Marios, if you reverse for 3 seconds, they will disconnect you from the game. Like, and so in the actual competitive side of it, I know Nintendo doesn't really think about the competitive side of it, but if you join a random lobby with somebody and you're going through these courses that are connected, like if it's truly open world, there's nothing that stops anybody from just like, ooh, shiny object and like ending up very far away from the actual race.
From what I can tell, from like when they're connected, is that they do like tell you like this is the direction you need to go, and if you go too far off course, they'll just get Lakitu to bring you back, as if it's a real racetrack in between. So they do make you go down the correct road. Like you're not gonna like hit an intersection and be like, which way do I go? No, they're like you go this way, and it's like a very obvious direction. They'll have signs, they'll have like the lasers telling you to go this way and that way. But there are like gonna be secret paths and like shortcuts and stuff that you can find on those routes.
Right.
Which I think is really cool.
I think it's gonna be awesome. Hidden path to go under the mountain instead of over the mountain.
Yeah, shit like that. Like I think there's gonna be like so much diversity in the ways that you like can get to each course and all the like the actual stages themselves. Because obviously there's tons of shortcuts and things that you could do on the regular racetracks. There always has been, but even more so now because now they've added a lot more verticality to the levels. I know a lot of people are like, oh no, the levels are too wide and all that other stuff. And like they removed like the upside down walls and the tight corners and stuff. But what they kind of added, from what I can tell, is that there's more layers to the levels now. So like there's like verticality. So there's this level of where you're driving, and then there's like a level higher than that where you could try to get up to from like wall jumping or rail grinding. So there's like, instead of it just being like a flat surface, because everyone's like, oh, it's just a flat land, but it's really not. It's like there's the road. Then there's like walls or another path above there, like another corner, like another shortcut for a different direction. And then there's like things above that. So it's like multiple layers stacked on top of each other from different places. And like,
so, I mean, they kind of had that concept in the older Mario part. Like in Mario Kart 8, there's worlds where you can drive underwater in certain sections, or like if you make the jump, you can jump over it.
But it's
or
basically
whatever.
like they doubled down on those ideas. Now there's just more places you can get to.
Yeah.
Like there's more places you could jump to.
I am curious how the wall jumping will like handle, because that feels like it would. Just visually, it would probably feel like it seems kind of weird, right?
As long as they don't try to like change the way that you move while you're on it, like all of a sudden like forward isn't forward anymore or something like that, or like left and right don't change because you're on a wall now. I think it should be smooth if it still functions like you're on the ground. I think it'll be pretty smooth, but I guess we'll have to see. We'll get more into mechanics later because there's a lot of new mechanics.
Yeah.
All right. We have an ad as our first ad, so we're gonna take a 3-minute ad break.
Nice.
All right. So you guys take a break, get some water, go to the bathroom if you need to.
Yes.
And we'll continue.
Absolutely.
All right.
I'm good.
So many dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die when you're playing Iron Mario. Fiona wasn't born yesterday, but the spider was born right on top of their head. Tanuki Dan was running in the sunshine when suddenly a water bomb made him dead. DGR Dave was jumping for joy, but he slid off the roof of the castle and then he died. Jerby's was racing with a snowball. The snowball won, it was their demise. Hyrazulix had a duel with King Bob and met their end. I ate your pie, destroyed reality, and then himself. So many dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die when you're playing Iron Mario. Hexadecimal was tackled by
Thank you.
Chuck.
My eyeballs were floating. That was a perfectly timed break.
Margin Phil was dancing with a Monty Mole. Mayday EXE should stay from clocks they don't know. Stephen Lee decided to throw a bomb and melt through the floor. Streaming Falcon really shouldn't have touched that wall. Funky Shun rode an owl and exploded. It seemed like a good idea at the time. True Muffin was money hungry for death. Timbo kissed a chain chomped as soon as they spawned. So many dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die when you're playing Iron Mario. So many dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die when you're playing Iron Mario. A bomb, a thwomp, and an amp made sure to ruin Mr. Mighty Mouse's day. Poison pumps was on their way to victory, but a piranha plant was standing.
All right, ads are over.
Welcome back.
We're back from our
Welcome.
corporate overlords, everybody. Yeah.
We all celebrate our corporate overlords.
Yeah.
Those herbs and spices.
These
Right.
these ads brought to you by Shinra. Hashtag Shinra did nothing wrong. Giving you
Oh no, that's too real. That's too real.
bringing you power since the 2000s.
But you can't do that. But yes, we can. We're Shinra.
Oh no. Oh no.
There will be fun commercials like that in the future. I'm working on some of them right now. Or like evil villain propaganda videos, as well as just like weird just product placement commercials. Those are gonna be part of the stream in the future. So working on those.
Love that.
Those will be fun. You're more than welcome to make some of your own if you want. All right. Let's continue with the next talking points.
Next, let's talk about the open world area, quests and secrets. Costumes. Will all characters get extra costumes of just the main Mario cast? Theories on what the other unlockable from Quest do. Are they decals and or stickers for vehicles? Or will they be pointless achievements?
Dog.
What a dog doing?
Sorry. That's
What
Torch.
that dog doing?
He's upset. Sorry. My bad. He's just he's a good boy. He's protecting the house.
He's good dog.
He's good dog.
Time. Yeah. All right, guys. So The open world stuff, like basically, like what are we doing in the open world besides playing hide and seek in the future?
Unlockables and secrets. I think decals and stickers is a good guess.
Yeah.
Also, I would think that beyond those, you know, it'd be really cool with those stickers if there was like a graffiti mode where like you could place stickers on the map for other players to see. But I don't know how that would work in the long term as far as like
Everything would just be graffitied to hell.
yeah. They couldn't save them forever.
Yeah, it would have to be something similar to like Dark Souls like thing where they put shit on the ground and then like they have to get likes and ratings multiple times or else they disappear after a few days.
Oh God, please no. The idea conceptually is so good, but in practice it's so awful and it'll ruin your day.
So like
It's true.
we don't like so we know how to get costumes in this game. They are from food stalls all over the world. You can unlock costumes. We don't know if the costumes are only for some characters. They haven't shown off whether or not like the 50 billion characters in this game all have extra costumes. Or if it's just some characters. And I think it would be disappointing if we don't get more costumes for the other characters, but also I don't know. It feels like only a half idea at that point. Like, why have all these characters if they all don't have costumes? If it's just the main Mario cast, doesn't it just mean that the main Mario cast is going to be the most played?
Yeah, it's kind of the issue I see again with the NPC races, where it's like it feels weird because on the one hand I don't see them making costumes for them,
Yeah.
but at
I
the
don't
same
either.
time it would be even more disappointing if they don't have costumes, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, even if they're just different colors or something that you can unlock, you know what I mean? Like, what if this
Yeah.
costume unlocks green dolphin? You know what I mean? But like something that's not just nothing. I feel like it's gonna be very sad if it's only like these 8 characters in the game can unlock costumes and everyone else gets fucking nothing.
Yeah. I mean, based on this list that I'm looking at put out by IGN, I mean that is kind of what it looks like. It looks like the main cast, there's like 5 different versions. You got your regular, your all-terrain, cowboy, a touring one, and then an aviator one.
Right.
Well, no, it mixes up. It mixes up.
There's more stuff, but
yeah. Daisy in a swimsuit.
Yeah, there's definitely like
Oh my.
10 costumes or something for each character from what we see. Because we know that there's like a food stall in each zone. So each zone has their own food stall. So like from what we could tell, there's like at least 8 zones. At least 8 or 10 zones. So like there's more than that for costumes. But the problem is we don't know if the costumes are only for the specific characters. Or if all of the characters get something for costumes. Like, I'm hoping they at least give them color changing swap palette stuff. Like, at the bare minimum. But if they give them nothing, I'd be kind of disappointed.
Yeah.
All characters will have costumes. Are you sure, though? They haven't shown anything for that.
Yeah, like Penguin and Charging Chuck and Dolphin. I mean, so far, I don't know. It doesn't look like they're going to do that for them. But at least color changes. Come on.
I mean, I'll be pleasantly surprised if I can get... If they did? Which characters had different costumes? Oh my god, I want to see this now. Do I get Dolphin with a cool ass biker jacket? Because I'd be awesome with that.
I love the clicky clacky keyboard.
Sorry. I'm looking. It just says all 50 characters in costumes so far. So it looks like there's 50 characters.
Damn, that's a lot of characters. And
Yeah.
a lot of vehicles, Jesus.
And a lot to be just Mario. At that point, if you're going to have 50 characters, that makes me wish they would have pulled some from different IPs.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of my point I made before.
Are the Koopa
where,
Kids in this game? They gotta be, right? Yeah.
They have to be. 50 characters, they have to be. All that matters is that I am only going to be playing with Daisy in a swimsuit ever. That's the only character that I'm going to be ever playing with.
I guess.
50 characters and costumes, yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They have 50 characters. 50 characters and costumes, not 50 characters. Wait.
I think what Lich is trying to say is that combined characters and their costumes are 50 instead of their 50 characters and costumes.
Well, that would mean
Oh, okay.
that would mean that some characters don't have costumes though, and that still doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that number doesn't make
In
sense.
general,
Then.
I think the
Yeah.
question of like what do you do in an open world, that's kind of the biggest issue with any open world game, right? What do you do in an open world? It's a question every single open world game has to answer, and not every game answers it well.
What if there's mini
So-
games on the map?
Okay, so looking
Like
it
when-
up, they have revealed a couple enemies have other costumes. Like they revealed that Shy Guy has other costumes, and like
Shy Guy is
Lakitu and a couple other ones. They haven't listed all of the other ones yet though. They haven't like shown off Wiggler with different costumes. They haven't shown like Pokey or Dolphin, which is what I'm talking about. Like, do these dudes have costumes too? Like, cause that'd be sick. If not, then
I feel like some just won't. I feel
Yeah.
like some just won't have costumes because they
I
are
feel like
so out there.
Well, basic, yeah, like Wiggler. Like, how would you put it? I mean, if they gave
Well, I
Wiggler
mean,
a top hat, that
one of the like just for like the just for the Shy Guy, they just gave him like goggles and a snow hoodie. So I mean, it's not that hard to just
Also, yeah.
slap like goggles or like a fun time. Like I've seen some pretty creative costume by just adding like a couple of accessories to something. You know what I mean?
right?
Treehouse said yes. Okay, well I'm looking forward to that then because that's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
That would be cool, yeah. I mean,
I
if
want-
every character gets a costume, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's just cool.
I don't know why my brain keeps wanting Wiggler dressed as like Abraham Lincoln with a top hat. Just imagine that. It'd be so.
Well, I
it'd
mean,
be amazing.
This
Just
fancy Wiggler in a tuxedo.
Okay.
Like, that'd be
Yeah,
pretty
with
sick.
a giant top hat.
Yeah,
I know what I need to do pixel art of after the
exactly.
Yes,
There you go.
please, Sigmund. That is so good.
We also are as far as I know, unless I'm also mistaken about this, we don't 100% know what the unlockables do from the quests in the open world. I'm hoping that they're like unlocking stuff for like the vehicle customization in a different way, like stickers and bumper stickers and shit like that. Or something. Like I don't want them to just be like, oh, you did this thing, congratulations, here's extra bonus points for nothing that matters. It's like, you know what I mean? I want them to unlock something.
50 characters plus costumes. Okay, that's what I thought.
Okay,
That's how
lost
I
costumes.
originally.
That's insane.
That's
That
a
is
lot.
insane.
But especially if they all have stats for costumes. Jesus Christ. We don't know about that yet either. That'd be fun. But
Wonder how close we could get to just naming, like from memory, naming 50 Mario characters.
I couldn't.
I think I
could
could get pretty
not.
close.
Maybe
I would
exploration
do it,
unlocks
I think
other
it would take
cards.
too much time.
Maybe you unlock characters. We actually don't know if you unlock characters in this game.
What if it unlocks courses?
Exploration.
If there's over 100 courses, what if it unlocks special course? Rainbow Road.
Well,
Like,
we
what if
do
Rainbow
we
Road is like
do
a
know
special
that
course?
they said if you unlock everything in the game, you unlock a special rainbow something, and they didn't explain what. So
Mario, it has to be Rainbow Road. What?
yeah, so I think we're gonna get a rainbow road, maybe even like extra rainbow roads, maybe more than one. Maybe it's like a grand
Rainbow
prix of
road.
rainbow roads. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like maybe
That-
it's a whole rainbow section of the world. That'd be fucking awesome.
Oh, that would
Yeah.
be like an overworld, like
Yeah.
a cloud world on top of it would be
Yeah,
amazing.
that'd be fun.
And yes, you do unlock the game.
Unlock the game. But like, they basically said that that's one thing that you unlock if you do like all of this stuff. But like, we still don't know what individual things are. We don't know if you unlock the characters. We don't know a lot. We know you unlock costumes, but we don't know what like the quests do. We just know that there are like special tokens you can find. We know that there's P-switches you can do that give you like special events you can do. We know that there's like a bunch of different activities and quests that you can do in the world, but we don't know
Okay,
what
so-
they unlock.
Well, activities and special events. So again, like what if it unlocks like little mini games, right?
Right. Well, we do know there are mini games that you play to do these things. Like they are like this little mini games throughout the world. I'm calling them quests.
That's what they are. They're
Yeah,
quests.
the quests. Like they
quests.
have a couple of things that we've seen. Like P switches will do stuff. We have like time trials. There's like get all the red coins, just crap like that. Like within a certain time limit or beat a certain thing. Like we know that like a bunch of the quests are like that. We probably don't know all the quests right now, but we know a lot of them. But we know they're spread out all over the map. We don't know if they're worth doing. That's the problem. Like, are they just there to fill in space, or do they actually unlock stuff? We don't know that part.
Nintendo scares me with that all the time because I feel like they historically have done that so many times where it's just this is just empty space.
Like,
and
look, I
here's
unlocked the
thing to
golden
do.
poop in Breath of the Wild. Okay.
Did you?
Yeah.
Nice.
900 to do that.
999 Korok seeds. Here's poop. Congratulations. Like,
here's the golden poop. You did it.
like if you have to do everything and all it does is unlock one course for doing the entire map worth of stuff, that's definitely not worth it. It kind of sucks.
It's just a golden Mario Kart. That's all you unlock. It's just bragging rights.
I mean, I'm hoping like maybe they do something like you unlock new colors for cars, or you unlock like decals for cars, or you unlock stickers for cars. I hope they do something along that line because we already know you get costumes. It'd be nice if we also unlock different things for carts. I think that would be cool. Like that makes it worth kind of going out and doing and exploring and doing like weird shit and finding secrets. Because like, what if this secret unlocks like a golden car that you like, or a golden motorcycle? That'd be sick. Like, or something like that, or finishing this whole world or this part of the world like does something cool. It gives you like a special vehicle or something like that. Like unlocks different vehicles that aren't just for the characters. Maybe that'd be cool. Like, it'd be nice if there are other things that it does other than just bragging rights or points or whatever, like some leaderboard or some shit.
Yeah.
If you beat every course, it unlocks the ability to teleport. Then you can teleport wherever you want to on the map.
Fast travel unlocked.
Yeah. I wonder how they're gonna do that, but we'll get to mechanics later. That'd be because that sounds.
They kind
fun.
of already showed off fast travel. But they only showed they only showed off fast traveling to your friends. They didn't show off fast traveling on your own. So I'm not sure if it's just you can teleport to your friends or you can teleport anywhere. They don't really say.
I feel like it would be weird if you can just teleport to your friends.
I don't know. That's what they showed off. Teleport to your friends.
Yeah, there's got to be some sort of course selector. If you like you start off in Ice World and you want to go to the lava or Bowser's domain, that would suck if you had to drive all the way there every.
I agree.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm not sure what they could make as meaningful unlocks for exploring right now if they don't have you unlock cards or like vehicles or characters.
Yeah. If you do have to
in-game amiibos.
If you do have to unlock the vehicles and the characters, I think that's kind of cool. I think that's fine.
Yeah, I agree.
I do too. I mean, again, it gives it not just playability, but replayability as well. You know what I mean? Like you can go through casually, play the game, and then that gives you a reason to go back and replay it to try and unlock everything.
Yeah, I know a lot of people will be upset.
Mario Kart 8 had unlocked.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying, Mario Kart 8 had unlocked, so if they were worried about you not being able to play whatever you want on, like, in online, that wouldn't have been a thing in Mario Kart 8 either. So, I don't think they're worried about that.
Yeah. They basically did that. Yeah, like, I don't even have all this shit unlocked on Mario Kart 8.
No, not even
but
close.
Like, I feel like that system for unlocking a Mario Kart 8 is really boring. Like, you get enough, you get enough coins. Here you go, unlock new thing. You get enough coins. Here you go, unlock new thing. It's like,
I don't think I've ever played the campaign for Mario Kart 8. I think I have like 100 played the campaign. It's always just been multiplayer.
Yeah, I mean, you unlock everything through multiplayer. Like, you just get enough coins and like a new thing unlocks over time. And it's randomized, so you can't even like choose what you want. Just
Yeah.
so like I know I'm missing some gliders and some wheels in that game still, but I wasn't gonna do it the second time because I already did it once in the first version of that game, and I wasn't gonna do it again because you can just
Right.
grind it.
Yeah.
You can just grind it out if you just play like 50cc mode and just get coins constantly. It's easy to just unlock everything. Like you just have to do like probably like 10 hours of just 50cc and you just unlock everything. But god damn, it's a grind.
Yeah.
It's definitely not fun. So if they make it to where the world is how you unlock all that shit, I think that would be way more fun to do.
Yeah.
Great. Great.
Yeah, especially if you could do that with your friends, like not having to go
Yes.
do that on your own. Like if you could go questing with your friends, I think that'd be a lot
Like
of
guys,
fun.
I found a button over here. Like I definitely don't want to see anything about like where buttons are, where anything is in the world. I definitely want to go find and explore and find those things on my own. So if like I'm playing with
Right.
friends, like somebody maybe finds like a secret room and they're like, oh, there's a thing here, there's a coin here. Like that shit would be fun. I think that's like exploring would be part of the fun of the open world in this game because the
Yeah.
world is big. And it doesn't seem like it's empty. It seems like there's just hidden shit all over the place, which I think is fun. Especially if it unlocks cool stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think not just having empty space, like here's a bunch of courses stacked on top of each other, like there's actually other stuff to do and explore and
Yeah.
yeah. It's
I'm
gonna be a lot
looking
of fun.
forward to secrets and cool shit being around. And knowing
What do you-
Nintendo, there's some really bizarre fucking side quest in that area that you have to find some weird shit and it's gonna lead you on like a magical journey.
Do you think it's going to be big enough to be like kind of a saga of exploration, or do you think it's something that you and your friends could explore the entire world in like a day or two?
um from what the size of the scale I've seen, I think it's gonna take you a couple weeks to explore the whole thing properly, and there still might be hidden stuff that you don't find right away. 'Cause
Right.
it's on the
Right.
scale of like, it's bigger than, from what I've seen, it's bigger than Tears of the Kingdom's map. And
Wow.
there's shit all over
mean-
Tears of the Kingdom that you can't find. The only plus side of this one that makes it a little less is that the exploration, you're in a car.
You're in a car.
You're
yeah,
in a car, so it's definitely be faster.
I mean, just thinking about it, how many tracks are in like one zone? And, then,
Um,
and think about how big the tracks in Mario Kart are.
yeah. Mario Kart tracks are pretty
Yeah.
big on
And
their
then
own.
think, and then think how many zones there are. Like
Yeah.
Well,
that scales.
I don't know. I think there's kind of some visual magic going on with some of those tracks. 'Cause I feel like some of the Mario Kart tracks in Mario Kart 8 are not big tracks. The backgrounds make them look a lot bigger, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
But these ones aren't
That's
doing that. There is no camera trickery in this. They even said that you can like
Right.
you can see all of the everything from every angle because of this free open mode. So like you can see the courses and like sides of courses. And that's another thing. You can explore these areas and the courses themselves outside of the races, so you aren't limited by things like the zone kicking you out and Lakitu putting you back on course. You could just jump
Right.
off the side of a course and be like, what's behind this wall I've always wanted to look behind? Like that's something you could never do in any other Mario Kart.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you think your intuition is going to be in the game? Like, do you think people are going to be drawn more towards actually racing and like doing races and being on course, or do you think people are going to be more drawn to that open world aspect of just driving around and just exploring?
I think it's gonna probably be more of the racing, and less people are gonna play the open world stuff. And it's mostly just because Mario Kart's not known for open world things, and it's not really the community that plays that sort of stuff. But
Right.
I think it's got its own niche audience for the open world stuff. I think
Yeah.
the open world stuff does appeal to people who already play things like Breath of the Wild and stuff like that already have that kind of wanderlust. But there's obviously most people who play Mario Kart are just playing it for the racing. Like, let's be honest, like the 8 million people that own Mario Kart are not like, oh man, I can't wait to like explore Peach's castle. Like,
Yeah, I have a complex answer to this, actually. So first of all, game designer answers obviously depends on the player type. Like, depending on what kind of player you are, you might be drawn more towards exploring. On the one hand, I think more people are going to be interested in the racing because that's what you expect from Mario Kart. But at the same time, I also feel like a lot of people who are just in Mario, like in this for the racing, would probably stick with Mario Kart 8 instead.
Maybe.
So it might actually be pioneered by people who like exploring and then slowly build a racing community as time goes on.
Well, I feel like with the game being marketed with the open world aspect, I think it's going to be interesting to see what those initial reviews are and like whether more people are in it for the exploration. Because like that's a big gamble for them to go, oh, well, it's going to be open. There's going to be stuff for you to do outside of the races, and you can go anywhere. Like, so as if I had never played a Mario Kart before in my life, I would expect that there is going to be so much content outside of those races that's going to pretty much be its own game on its own outside of just racing.
This also puts them in a weird design space for the future. Because like if this game does do well with like a new generation and not the old generation, they kind of set themselves up to be like, how the fuck do we design the next Mario Kart? Because now we have a bunch of people who want it like the old style, but now we have a new generation of people who want it this style.
That's Nintendo. That's Nintendo's whole thing. Everything that they put out, where do you go from here? Like Zelda, where does the franchise go from there?
I think especially, I don't think they would have done that gamble if the Switch 2 didn't have backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
Because they know people can, even if they buy a Switch 2, can still play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. They know they had to do something different. And that they can afford to do something different because people who like Mario Kart will still have a Mario Kart either way. But that also means if they can't impress with the new Mario Kart, then obviously people will go back to 8.
I think generally they are just going backwards compatible to get so the option to buy those previous games is still there and they can still make money off of it.
I agree.
But
I don't think they have backwards compatibility.
Mario
because
Kart
of
8
that. I'm just
Deluxe Enhanced Edition win.
World had to
Deluxe. Deluxe Deuce. Deluxe Deuce. No, I really think that they are counting on Mario Kart World replacing Mario Kart 8. I really think that they are banking on that it's just going to be obsolete at this point.
I think so too, actually. Because they've never ever had Mario Kart as a launch title.
Yeah.
This is the first time. This is their Mario Odyssey.
It's so wild too that it's a launch. The launch choices, the fact that it's a new. I don't know, just some of the games that there's not an actual Mario game coming out.
I said it when we first talked about the Direct. The launch titles, like in general, what they had in the first Direct feels incredibly odd, and I'm excited to see what they do with that.
Yeah.
I am too. I think if they haven't announced one yet, I think shortly after the launch, I think they're banking on this doing well. And either way, I think we're gonna get a new Mario canon story, like a new Odyssey or something shortly after the launch, like maybe a year after the launch.
Yeah.
Just so they can cement those sales in for the console. Because like it's weird that they went with Hyrule Warriors as a launch title as well. Donkey Kong's gonna be fire though. It's gonna be so
the new
good.
Donkey Kong is so cool because it looks like they're really like taking a lot of like mechanics from like the old Wario style like 3D games and giving it to Donkey Kong. And I think that's cool because like that's the kind of style of game that I miss, and I think this is like gonna be really fun. It looks very fun. It looks like just like we finally have that bruiser Nintendo game we've always wanted.
Combined so many interesting concepts together. I still don't like the new Donkey Kong design. I probably never will, but I do love what they're doing with that game.
Honestly,
as long as he has retractable teeth.
I mean, honestly, I kind of like the new Donkey Kong. He just looks like very expressive now and like less like. I guess before he kind of looked a little rugged, like older. I guess would be the better word for it, and it never really fit well for him. I don't know. He just always looked kind of like that old, sharp 3D, like like the Nintendo 64 era. He never kind of like his model never really adapted from there. It always just kind of kept that sharpness that it had from the 64, and now it's like they kind of just smoothed it out, which is kind of like what all Nintendo characters really have. So I feel like the DK they have now looks more like an actual Nintendo character. From before, he didn't really. He looked like a bit of a sharp rendition of like what he should have been. Now he looks more
Right.
smoothed out.
Yeah,
I don't
they've
know.
kind
I
of.
feel like I just like the sharpness because it made him stand out.
I
But
agree.
that's anyway off topic.
Mechanic and gameplay wise, it's off topic, but it looks amazing. Dan made a good point.
Yeah.
He thinks the next prediction for the next actual Mario game is going to be Super Mario Worlds. I think we're going to get Breath of the Mario. It's going to be an actual open world Mario because I think that's where
Bro,
that's where
I want
Nintendo's
that.
going.
I want that so much, bro. Like you have no idea. Cause like the worlds like in Odyssey were amazing. Like I enjoyed those things, and they were really open, and it felt good to play them. But imagine just like
Yeah.
interconnected shit. That'd be so hype.
I have such a mixed opinion on Odyssey still, because on the one hand I wanted it to be open world and it wasn't. All the marketing made me think it might be open world, but like everything I saw before getting the game made me think it might be open world, but it wasn't. And that was kind of disappointing for me. But at the same time, I also feel like the collectathon got too much.
That's
No
Tears
way.
of the Kingdom. That's Tears of Breath of the Wild
Yeah.
had Easter eggs in it, but then Tears of the Kingdom was Easter egg the game. And it was really cool and it was a lot of fun, and they did a lot of groundbreaking things with being able to make stuff and put stuff together for those machines. So like it still stood on its own as a really good game, but like story-wise, it felt like the story was dwarfed by all the collectathon stuff. You know what I
I
mean?
kind of agree because I actually got way more into Breath of the Wild than I did Tears of the Kingdom.
I haven't played Tears of the Kingdom yet. I gotta admit, I have it. I have it in front of me right now. I could play it if I wanted to, but I just
Same.
didn't. Because it
Um,
just didn't.
It's worth it. I definitely will say it's
a
worth
good
it, and it's a
game.
great
Like,
game.
they're both
Yeah.
great games. Like you
I
probably
think so, but
yeah, well, it's probably like a mood thing. You have to be in the mood to play that kind of game because it is very big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of daunting in a lot of ways because you can kind of just
It is.
do anything
I
and
agree.
go
Let's
anywhere.
wait until Switch 2.
Oh yeah, I'm waiting for the
Play
enhanced version. I think that's actually one of the reasons I stopped playing is because it lagged on handheld, and it made me mad because it made me remember like how bad it was on the Wii U for like Breath of the Wild and how laggy that shit was. And I was
Yeah.
like, I don't want to
already
play
had
Tears of the
Breath of
Kingdom.
the
It's
Wild on the Wii
laggy.
U.
I can't wait to
It
pay
was
for
so
this game
sad.
again.
I mean, it's only $10. That's not that bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
If you already own it, it's only $10. It's like whatever. At least we get 4K versions for $10. It's not even that bad. I mean, you could just
Yeah.
be like Sony and just resell you the same game every console generation for like $70. You want to buy
I
Walking Dead
know!
again? You want to buy Walking Dead again? You want to buy Walking Dead again?
I was gonna bring that up earlier, dude. PlayStation 3. I spent hundreds of dollars on the PlayStation Store when PlayStation 3 was still relevant, and bought all these games, older titles, PlayStation 1 games, so I could replay them on the 3. And then now we're 2 generations later, and it's the same PlayStation Store, but if you want those games, you got to pay for them again. And it's like,
Yep.
dude, I already paid for this. It's the same game. Just let me play it on the new
That's
console.
why I find it. We brought this up in the last podcast. I find it hilarious how up in arms people were about enhanced versions, and I'm like, what? Every console has done this, but worse. Like for years. I'm
yes,
so
you just gotta
happy.
pay for the whole.
I'm so happy it's only $10. It could have just been 70 or 60. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they could have just been like, okay, Breath of the Wild 4K edition, $70 if you already owned it. Like
Skyrim.
yeah. So like, yeah, I'm fine with $10. Take my money, Nintendo. Like,
It's not bad. I do the game codes thing where you get a cartridge that just has a code on it and not the game. That's kind of iffy. I don't know how I feel about that, but I'm gonna do whatever it takes.
That's apparently mostly just third party from what I can tell. Like most of them, like Nintendo ones aren't codes, but
It's complicated. It's complicated. It's because Nintendo only sells cards in 2 sizes. If your game is smaller, it's actually more efficient to buy the game code cards, like as a developer. third-party developer,
Yeah.
which is a problem of Nintendo not offering more sizes for the cartridges.
Yeah.
I think it's more for them being able to keep track now that they're trying to say that they're doing what Ubisoft did, and they're saying that you don't, just because you bought the game doesn't mean that you own the game.
What
to
do you
keep
mean
people from
Ubisoft?
modding
Don't
it or
you mean
whatever.
every freaking game company out there? Even Steam?
Yeah.
So like before we throw Nintendo under the bus for this, that's every company right now.
Yeah.
Every single gaming company.
Ubisoft was the first one that like really caught flack for it after that Prince of Persia game release. Yeah,
But
they
like,
were the first ones to get.
This is just going back to what I was saying before, where it's like people are like, "Oh, well, Photoshop is this, but it's piracy," and I'm just like, "Okay, but you've always had that option." So, like,
if licensing isn't owning, then piracy is stealing.
Yeah, but like, it doesn't even really matter in the long run. Like, yeah, everything's digital now. The only thing that really needs to change is that we need to have better laws for gamers owning licenses. Like, you shouldn't be able to take those things away. Like, if the company goes under, like if Nintendo went out of business, they should have to have in their like legislation law stuff that their servers have to stay on for like 100 years, where I can download my games forever. Like, they shouldn't be able to just be like, okay, we're shutting down our servers, you can never play this game again. That's where everything's bad when it comes to digital stuff. Like, look at Mario Maker. Like, when they're just like, okay, the servers are down now. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
that's the same problem people had with MMOs for years, where they shut down an MMO and you can never play one again.
Yep. Throughout history, I mean, that's always been a thing. Is eventually servers will shut down, become obsolete,
which
and
is
then
why people like physical stuff. But the problem is that has to do with laws, and people have to fight those things and get better laws to support people like consumers. Right now, we don't have very good laws for consumers. And the gaming companies have like most of the power there in like legislation for stuff. So unless we start fighting those things and like really being like, hey, if you want to have all your products be digital, fine. But once I buy this thing, I legally have the rights to it for like a certain amount of time, like 100 years or something like that. They have to change stuff like that. Like those have to be things that they have to agree to as companies. We haven't got to that point yet, because we just don't have enough people like having like this problem. Really, a lot of times when stuff goes offline and never comes back, people just put it online, and they just wish that they would online.
I just wish they wouldn't get mad about it. Like, I mean, so Nintendo will sue you if you pirate a copy of.
It's not just Nintendo though; it's every game company.
Right. I'm using Nintendo as an example. Like, but any company, so just throwing out Pokemon like Red, Blue, and Yellow out there. Like, if you were to pirate a copy of that game and they found out, they'd be pissed about it. They'd want to sue you. Yeah. But you can't buy that game from them. You know what I mean? Like, you can't buy a copy.
Here's the thing about that, and people don't seem to realize this. It's not about owning or playing an emulated copy. They generally don't care. It is about giving people emulated copies. It is about distributing emulated copies they're not happy about, because you're basically giving like their product away. License and like just law-wise, that's illegal. Like
yeah, but if they're going to get upset about that, then they should have a medium to where you can buy that game.
If you own games, or you have, like, this is why I said that we need more rights for digital copies of things. Because if we had rights for digital copies of things, then they can't get mad if we emulate them because we own them. And they.
You think they're trying to get ahead of the curve with that, with like these laws that they're putting into place? And
yeah, they've been doing that for a long time. That's all this gaming legislation. Again, it comes down to the consumers need to fight laws like this and fix those problems, because those are actual things that are going to get worse over years and time. Like, and those are things that we've had to fight through in other industries. Like, gaming is just the newer industry where we have that problem. This was a problem in what was it, like music, for a long time. So like that had to get fought with for music industry stuff, and that is still an issue for some things, because people just claim rights to music that they don't own and still cause issues for that.
I mean, there's a lot of variables in play there. I'm sorry, go ahead, Sigmund.
The problem is legislation is just fundamentally still not in the digital age.
Yeah,
like it's fundamentally not prepared to deal with things just being able to be casually copied.
Exactly. Unfortunately, we are still dealing with a lot of lawmakers that are like dinosaurs and they don't understand technology. Therefore, they're basically not caring about what consumers have to say. and they're following what the businesses are saying because they feel like the businesses know better. And there isn't enough outcry against digital copies because most consumers will get digital copies and not care. Like, let's be honest. Like most people don't like most consumers of the products that exist for gamers do not care if they're physical. That is a small niche market of like a few people. Like realistically, it's probably like 10% of people.
Yeah.
Glitch. Since when did we have Rails?
Yeah, we do. Hexen told us beforehand that we better not talk over each other and that we better stay on topic.
This is clearly
It's my
topic.
fault.
What's the topic?
Well, I mean, it's fine to go on tangents about different things. That's why it's a podcast. But yeah. Yeah, DMCAs are horribly mismanaged. Exactly. But that goes for like things like what is it called? The system that Nintendo and a couple other game companies are doing to get around copyright infringement. Because like you can't copyright like parts of games. Like they made sure that you couldn't do that. You can only like, copyright characters. This is something that happened. This happened in the 90s.
Use?
Yeah, well, I mean, kind of. Basically, they like in the original, like when games first came out, they tried to copyright like game genres. Like I own shooting games, I own mechanics, like I own punching people. Like they try to do that. Game companies all try to do that, and then all the freaking people were like, no, that's bad for trade, and it's bad for just a fair trade like market. Because that eventually makes it to where the market is like singular and closed and not open.
Yeah.
So you basically just like ruin the gaming market like that. And then
but
what people have done to circumvent that, people have started patenting things. And they're going around that law that said you can't copyright this thing. So they start patenting things.
I have to disagree here because that's what patent means.
Well, no, it doesn't.
Like, it's not circumventing it. That's just how patent law works.
Well, no, I know. That's a problem though. But because patent law is very vague in what you can actually quote unquote patent, which is why they're using it to go around this original thing. If they could patent like the idea of shooting, they would right now, which they're trying to do for certain things. But now they're like patenting specific mechanics or specific things. And it's causing a problem in the gaming industry because certain companies are patenting certain things and making it to where like the indie gaming space is becoming smaller and smaller because what if I do this thing that was somebody's patented idea, but they just ignore it from all the bigger companies doing it because one big company owns the patent, but they still let the other people do it. Like
Apple sued iPhone iPhone sued Samsung or whatever Android because they were putting out phones with rounded corners and they won. They won.
Yeah, because patent law is very stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I think patent law is theoretically focused on like inventions and how
it should be.
It should be, but what they started to do is they started making patent law about concepts, and that's bad because it's a gray area, and it's like they're using it in a way that it shouldn't have been for that, but they're using it because it's basically like a loophole in the way that they're trying to do it because they weren't allowed to copyright the things. So instead of copyrighting the thing, they decided to patent the thing. And so now they're doing things like Pokemon Company has the patent for throwing round objects in a field. What? But that is the most vague thing I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
In theory, that's how patents work. You have a specific implementation of something and patent it. The problem is, especially in the digital realm, that people don't know what a specific implementation should mean.
Yeah. Well,
So
the thing is being vague with it.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever looked at the comparison between monsters and like Chrono Trigger or Dragon Quest?
And Pokemon.
Yeah. And Pokemon. They're very, very similar, and Dragon Quest came out before Pokemon.
But here's the thing. And this is the problem that the gaming market's having, is because they're only focused on enforcing patents against small companies. They aren't forcing these patents on anyone else. Like, you won't see Ubisoft going against Nintendo for like
Right.
their patents, because like Ubisoft has a patent for collectathon shit, by the way, for like collecting like the flags and like the tower stuff, like to where you go to a tower and you unlock a map location. That was Ubisoft in Assassin's Creed. They have a patent for that, and guess who else did that? Breath of the fucking Wild.
Sure did. Sure
But
did.
you didn't see Ubisoft going, let's sue Nintendo for that. No, but if another company does that shit, you can damn well be sure if it's an indie company, Ubisoft's gonna be like, no, we own that.
Yep.
And that's
The
actually
issue is,
go ahead.
the issue
They're
is if Ubisoft would try that, Nintendo would show how the patent would not be enforceable.
Exactly, but the thing is that they're bullying indie companies by using these patents to make sure they don't, because bigger
Yeah.
companies aren't gonna fight amongst themselves for this shit. But
They don't want other
they see
companies
an
to
indie
grow and
co-
become larger.
exactly, they see an indie company get a popular thing for, like, let's say the current one that's going on with Nintendo, where they're trying to sue them over patent stuff, for Pal World.
Yeah.
They're trying to sue them over certain things. They can't sue them over copyright things because like the copyright things aren't there. Like people have proved it already. Like they can look similar all they want. It's not copyright infringement. They are trying to sue them over small mechanical things that they have patented. And they're doing it with like a bunch of vague things, but they would have never done that to other companies. Like they've never done it to like say Digimon, because they're just not gonna fuck with Bandai. And Digimon
Yeah.
had a bunch of
Partially
similar
also
mechanics in their recent games that are a lot like Pokemon.
Also partially just because Power Word in particular is just so extremely, like, in a way disrespecting Nintendo. Not actually, but like the way Nintendo sees it is very much the way they Power Word and their devs act makes it seem very disrespectful to them. And Japanese culture is very much about respect. So when a company doesn't, you know, respect the quote unquote rules of like you don't overstep certain boundaries.
That's
Didn't they put out a statement? I
that's
thought
a
Pokemon
cop-out.
Pokemon put out when the first initial rumors of Pokemon suing Power World came out. I thought Pokemon put out a statement that was like, "Hey, if if we were gonna do it, we would do it, and like we don't see anything wrong here."
Oh
And
no,
then later,
there was like 6 class
They-
action lawsuits or something after that.
yeah, and
They
then
s- they said
afterwards they
they're
came
looking
back and
into
tried to do it.
Like they said they're looking into it, and for now it doesn't matter. Like, don't worry about it.
Yeah. Imagine Pokemon, like the Pokemon company being worried about not making money.
But what's funny is that they
Ridiculous.
actually like are losing most of those like lawsuits. Most of the patent shit got thrown out. Like there's like one that hasn't, and they're still trying to like double down on that. And I think they moved the court case from Japan to America now, just to try to find a different law, like in a different country, that will enforce their patent bullshit. Like that's crazy to me. Like they're just
Yeah.
like, it didn't work in this country, let's sue them somewhere else. Like
Let's sue them somewhere else. Yeah, let's mess up their production somewhere else.
yeah, which is
It's
just
wild.
it's just disingenuous. Like I don't like that practice. There's
Yeah.
just so much bullshit. Like it makes the indie gaming market horrible. And
Everything. If you apply that mentality to everything, every sort of commerce, then it's like nobody's allowed to have new ideas ever. You're not
Exactly.
allowed to have a new idea. You're not allowed to try and create something new.
Which
and
is
like
why
that's
which is why they said that they didn't want them to copyright it, because it closes the market and the market becomes stagnant, because you can't have similar ideas, because everyone's going to go like, oh, that's similar to my patented idea of like monsters
Yep.
walking around in the forest.
Then you look at books though, or even movies. Like anytime a kind of a B-rated movie comes out, like it's always based off of a premise of like a AAA movie that came out at some
Yeah.
point, you know?
Which is why it's like
Yeah.
they like look. The thing is, it's like most things that impersonate something else, like they don't do as well as the real thing. And if they do,
It's
or
true.
do they do better, that means the other thing is probably not that good. Like, or it's
It's also
better
just so
than that.
complicated.
But the
Because
problem,
trademark, copyright, patent law is just so weird. And again, it's another case of law just not being prepared for the digital
again,
age.
yeah, it's right now patent law is being abused for the digital age, because it is behind. It is like the, what was it, copyright, like the Millennium Copyright Act, like that shit
Yep.
that's being enforced for shit from now, but it's like a 1990s law, It's actually insane. Like
It is.
they just
It is
haven't
wild.
they haven't updated the infrastructure for a long time. Anyway, let's get back on to Mario Kart because we went on a tangent
Yes.
for a little while. But all right, we're talking about we're still talking about costumes and open world and achievements and what that stuff. Are we done with that? Do we want to talk more about quests and possible things, or
We haven't talked really about the costumes at all. Like, I don't know if you want to show any of the costumes, but
Nah.
looking at this list of characters, I mean, like, I'm really excited about a lot of these. Some of these are amazing. Waluigi Mariachi.
I mean, I'll try to like not have too many like any spoilers are on screen besides like very basic.
Oh yeah,
things.
yeah, okay. Well then, yeah, I don't want to spoil anything either.
Yeah, I want to talk about stuff. Like, I'm glad there are costumes. And it's cool that they're like themed costumes, like for locations and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's cool.
Wow, Dan, that's insane.
Yeah, see, that's
Yeah.
bullshit like that. Where you could just patent something that doesn't exist. I could go out and just start patenting a bunch of bullshit like that doesn't exist and then say it's my patent and then start suing other companies.
They do have certain things because you have to pay for those patents, and then there are some things in place that where if it's like a more common or a broader idea, they do make you pay more for that patent.
Yeah, because
So I mean,
but that makes no sense. So like, let's make it more vague so I have to pay more for it. That just sounds like a scam on the patent part, right? Like where they just make it more scummy.
it is. I think it's. I mean, it seems more like a deterrent.
Pay to win, yeah.
Yeah, if you want to patent this idea, we're going to charge you a ton of money that you probably don't have for this idea that's probably already in use many other
So
places.
you're saying that patents are for rich people to abuse against poor people. I got it.
I'm not, but I'm saying that the guy that's scamming and scalping PS5s down the street can't be like, oh well, I think this is a great idea. Let me go buy the patent. People do that with web addresses. People will buy up a bunch of URLs and then wait for somebody to try and make that website, and then they'll sell it back to them for a lot of money.
And you're acting like the people selling PS5s aren't millionaires right now who could just patent a bunch of bullshit.
They're not. The scalpers, man, I really hope
so
that
much money.
Not really. If you think about it, somebody who bought a PS5 for whatever $500 and then waited 2 years to sell it for $700. Is it worth it? Is it worth that amount of time and that amount of effort?
As far as I remember it, like people who bought like a ton of PS4s like during the scalping time in like the early COVID period, they bought them for like the price with a bunch of bots. They bought them for the base price, and then they sold them for like $1,000+ to almost immediately. We're selling them. As far as I understand it, scalpers made like millions of dollars during COVID.
Really? I didn't know that.
The scalping
I
market,
thought it was a lot less than that.
That's why it's actually insane right now, man. That's why the bots and all the scalper things are so crazy now, because they made so much money that scalping is basically like an industry now.
I thought it was more people like Mr. Beast who were buying. I bought out this GameStop's entire stock of PS5s so I could give them away.
It was literally scalpers. Like they own a market of stuff now. It's actually kind of crazy. Like there are literally just rich, like quote unquote scalper corporations now.
Wow.
Yeah, they're not real businesses, but they work like businesses. They buy things and they resell them for more money. And they hit like a bunch of different things, like card games. They hit like video games and a bunch of other stuff. It's crazy. It's really crazy. Yeah, Pokemon cards. Yeah.
Pokemon cards. Yeah, little kids. It's a little kid game, and they can't go buy their cards at the store because they're all gone.
Yeah, it's crazy for Magic the Gathering because Magic the Gathering stopped printing by demand, so they print a finite amount of stuff now, and so they instantly sell out like almost every time they have a product, like instantly. And so the scalping market for Magic the Gathering is insane right now.
Yeah, that's awful.
We should make an entire episode about scalping at some point.
Maybe.
We should. Scalping and you.
Yeah. But no, that's a huge profitable market right now, and it has been for a long time now.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't wrap my brain around how to combat that.
The only people who can combat that are companies, and the companies don't care because they're selling their products. They don't care if everyone else gets screwed.
Yeah, well, I mean, once it's out of their hands, once somebody pays for it, they can't stop them from doing whatever they want with it.
Yeah, that's the problem though, is that companies don't care if they're, as long as all their product sells, they don't care because now it's all sold, so the company must be doing well. But that kind of also inflates interest because it makes it look like they're super popular when maybe they're just being bought out by scalpers.
Unless it's digital. I mean, that's not everything can be digital.
And
though,
then
Lich.
that goes back to the argument of this digital good or bad, Lich Kirby. Do you own the digital
Yeah.
rights to those cards?
Yeah.
now we just loop back around. Digital is like
Well, I mean, and that ruins
but...
the collector market for people that kept their 151 original Pokemon cards for 30 years or whatever, you
Exactly.
know? Like, yeah.
But
it's
is,
like,
is keeping stuff to sell them later even, like, is that even a market that should exist? Like, should we even encourage that?
I mean, I think so. I think if you have something that's in good condition that you can't buy anymore, that's been out of circulation for 30 years or however long. I mean, I think you should be able to sell it for a little bit more than you paid for it. You know what I mean?
A little bit more than you pay for it. So if I bought 151, the Pokemon cards, that I wait 10 years, and then I bought like 1,000 million of all those, and I just sell them like slowly over time for like 10 grand. That's totally fine because I owned all the copies of it, and no one else got to have any when they were launched. Because that's basically how the market's working right now.
I mean, you make a good point. I don't think people were buying up tens of thousands of them when they came. Well, I mean, I don't know. There were counterfeit cards at the time too.
I was gonna say that's actually not true. There were like a lot of people. I mean, not as many because like card games first came out then, but like as card games progressed, people did just start buying like, I'm gonna buy 12 cases of this and it's gonna sit in my basement for like a year or two, and then I'm gonna sell them all and just make more money. Like it's been happening forever, but now it's worse.
It is. It is.
The issue is that the collector's market naturally, over time, escalates into scalping.
Oh,
it does. I mean, we can't have anything nice. There's always somebody that's going to ruin it.
Anyways,
dang it.
Way off topic now.
That's fine. We like to rant here. It's fine. All right, we're gonna take an ad break, and then we're gonna go on to our last topic, our last talking points. Okay. So a quick ad break, and then last talking point.
Sounds like a plan. So,
don't touch that dial.
Exactly.
We'll be right back.
No poison mushroom. What? Boy, wait, why can't I move? Hello? Guys? Help me, I'm fucking stuck. Why can't I do anything? Ah! Game? Oh. Oh!
Peachy.
Oh my god! My controller wasn't working for a second, and then I came back and I just smashed her with a fucking wrench. Oh my god, no. That was fucking hilarious.
And Hex does something I don't think any other streamer on Twitch does. They play everything through their OBS capture, and they have a bunch of crazy effects that chat can inflict upon them and utterly fuck over their day.
Not the boss.
Good God!
So, wait. What?
Beautiful and an
Hex,
ugly.
it says your party is full.
Mostly hideous.
We're taking this. Oh god, sheeps. Look what are they doing? They're like floating on the walls. No! Oh, I stepped on that. That's some bullshit. Oh god! They're surfing on the land. Ah! You see that crap? Oh God, Lord! Did I die? I died after the guy.
I just see you standing up there, like.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking.
There you go. Look at it right as we go out the door.
Unsuspecting flower children.
Oh nah.
I'm just watching her up there,
That's
just like kind of shuffle around. Eventually, she lifts her axe. I'm like, nope.
That scream.
I almost fell out of my chair.
Damn it! Ad break over. Everyone's muted.
Ad break over.
Freud is muted still.
He might still be away.
Maybe.
No.
Oh, there we
I
go.
just ate chocolate
I just ate chocolate fair.
because I can.
Lastly,
for pre-orders.
game speed. New mechanics, losing old mechanics. New items nerfs to old items, and anything else you can think of that affects the main racing part of the game, or end off with some gaming news or rumors you've heard about recently.
Alright. So let's
Okay.
talk about the game in general, like just the mechanics and stuff.
I'm so excited the Mega Mushroom is back. I hope they have the music still.
Oh man, yeah, Mega Mushroom's gonna be good.
Yeah, that one looks fun. Especially with like how like much more because I've said this before, they have a lot more obstacles in the courses now, like where there's just like between courses there's cars and traffic and a bunch of other stuff, but they also like on the courses themselves have more things in the way, so Mega Mushroom just being able to plow through shit's gonna be really useful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
Also,
that there's certain
because I-
sections of the game that you need it for, like to be able to get through like a big brick wall or something to
Yeah.
unlock like a course.
Yeah,
That'd be
that
cool
would be
too.
Yeah, I'm also just nostalgic for it because, and I want everyone here to crumble to dust. Mario Kart Wii was my favorite.
I am actually kind of happy that they gave us the feather. The feather looks really fun, especially with how more vertical the levels are now. I feel like being able to like jump gaps or like other stuff to get to like secret locations with the feather is gonna be really cool. Because you can already jump in this game. They added an ability to jump anytime, which you can boot. It's kind of like the way drifting it kind of worked in the other game, where you hold down a button to drift. Now you're gonna be holding down a button to jump, which adds like not only a booster because you can do tricks, but also lets you get to other locations and stuff.
I think it would be really cool it's in some capacity. And I know like maybe they probably wouldn't put it in the main game, like when you're out in the open world. But if in some capacity you could get out of the cart, like Tony Hawk's American Wasteland or something, when they finally, you could get off your board for a little bit, you know what I mean? How cool would that be if you wanted to climb up like a rock or like some sort of
Get run over by traffic.
structure,
Yeah, that's fine.
or get run over by traffic? Yeah.
As one should.
Yeah, in the city areas, if you could get out and go like kind of interact with stuff, you know, outside of your cart.
Somebody kind of mentioned this like in some videos before, is that they kind of made the cart expressive, like where like when you're doing like emotive things, the carts also do stuff, and they made it kind of like where the carts are kind of part of the character. And I don't think there's gonna be any way to get off of them. But
I don't think so either. I think it would be cool.
Yeah. There's just a lot of really cool things with the mechanics. Like, they do have another new mechanic that I think is weird, and I think it's bad unless you can control it, and that is the rewind time.
Oh no.
Yeah, so you can like Prince of Persia the game now, where you like you can rewind time.
So
while
Ubisoft doesn't
driving.
doesn't have a patent on that.
Maybe they do, and then Nintendo is just like, "Well, try it, bitches," because apparently they did that with Breath of the Wild too, and they didn't give a fuck.
Can't rewind time. That's so good.
If it has to be a fixed amount of time, it's awful because it looked really long. It looked like a solid like 5 seconds of reverse time.
What does that add to the game? I don't understand.
They kind of were just like, hey, try to make this jump again. And I was like, well, that's cool, but only if you can control how far you reverse, because if you miss a jump and you reverse for like half a second and you jump again and you get it, and then that's worth it. Like, you know, for like a shortcut. But if you hit the reverse button and it's like a solid 5 or 6 seconds backwards while everyone else is driving past you, you're gonna be last place.
That's only got the only way I could see that working is if that's only in the open world portion of it. If they do that in the actual race, what's the difference?
It's in the race.
Really?
Yeah, it is.
What's the difference?
Part of the races.
What's the difference between that and the Lakitu just picking you up and either putting you back
or just
at the beginning
continuing
of the jump?
on a different path?
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't think it's something the game needed, and I feel like it's a feature that's just going to be frustrating, right?
It just seems weird. It seems very out of place. I don't know why it's there. It is very much one of those like, yeah, I don't know why it's in the game features. Again, unless you can control how long it lasts. Like if you hold the button down and then like you go backwards like a certain amount of time, maybe it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's like, cause like think about it this way. Think about getting hit by lightning. You lose all your items. You're like, oh shit, I lost all my items and I really need items at this point. And then you reverse and you get items again. Like maybe that's worth it. Like you reverse time and go hit the item thing again. But if you can't control how long it is, it's just bad. Like I can't see a reason it be ever used except for single player, like Dad says. Reviewing the yeah.
Rex. Yeah, it would put you in last place every time. So there's like it's a pointless feature. It seems like
it does seem like a pointless feature, but I don't like. I really am not sure. Like I'm gonna have to see it.
In single player.
Yeah. While exploring, I could totally see like, oh, I fell off this cliff and I don't want to climb back all the way up there, and there's reverse time.
Yeah, exactly.
Go back up.
Or like wall jumping, if there's an area you're trying to wall jump up to or something, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you missed it. Let me go ahead and rewind time a couple seconds.
Or like time trials, I could see it maybe being worth it. Like if you're practicing like for time trials and stuff, sure. But the fact that it's like just a feature in multiplayer is freaking weird. The only place that I could see it possibly being really interesting and being really kind of cool in multiplayer is if you could reverse time in battles. That would be interesting.
That would be super annoying though. Like if you could use it more than one time.
Yeah.
Win a battle. You know what I mean? Because you could just keep rewinding to
somebody shoots a green shell at you, you hit reverse, the green shell flies in front of you, and it's like,
yeah. That's ridiculous. I think again, it just feels like a wash at that point.
It's in Forza? That doesn't even make sense.
Again, in single player I could totally see it, but in
Dan's saying it's not in multiplayer, it's only in
But Dan, they showed it off. They showed it off in multiplayer. Like in one of the videos, they showed them in a race against other people, and they showed off that it will let people pass you.
That's wild.
So your time reverses, but not the game. So people around you are still driving normally. Like they showed it off in a multiplayer race.
Hold on. If it was an item and it reversed time for everybody for a certain amount of time, that could be kind of cool.
That would be hilarious.
That would be hilarious, dude. Oh, everybody rewind 5 seconds.
See, that sounds like a great item. I think that sounds freaking cool. I would love that to be an item. That sounds creative and fun. Like, could you imagine like getting like a fucking TikTok freaking clock, and he's just like, yeah, rewind time.
You just pass over the finish line in first place and time rewinds, and then somebody throws a shell. Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
I gotta watch Treehouse. Okay, well, I haven't watched every Treehouse, so if it's only for some reason while you're playing single player in Grand Prix, I guess like single player Grand Prix only, not online Grand Prix. It does not reverse for the CPUs. Yeah, that's what I was saying. It doesn't reverse time for the people you're playing against.
Does not reverse for CPUs, not with human players. So it's only for you, only in the player.
Yeah, it reverses time for you.
Yeah. That's crazy.
And
That's gonna be wild.
And you still use it in a multiplayer match. I know
So basically, you can do it in Grand Prix, but only single player Grand Prix. That's weird. That's even worse. That's
weird.
even more of a weird functionality then.
On the one hand, this
Yeah.
is more reasonable, but at the same time, it still leaves the feature kind of pointless.
Yeah. Anyway, back
What the
to
heck is this
back
feature?
to good mechanics. Like jump,
Yeah.
like jumping and wall grinding and grinding and stuff. So CPUs aren't people. Hey, I take
aren't
offense
people.
to that.
That's that big pharma mentality. CPUs aren't people.
Dan, you can't say that to Hexen.
Wow.
Wow. That's hilarious. No, jumping's gonna be really cool. I'm excited. I'm excited for jumping.
I can't believe we have to cancel Dan now.
I know, right?
We do.
But just talking about like the jumping mechanics, like on the walls, the wall stuff looks really cool because I think jumping off walls is gonna lead to like cool secret skips and stuff. It does.
Yeah.
They are saying that like grinding gives you speed boosts, but I'm not sure if the speed boost is gonna be better than just jumping a bunch. That's the weird
Or
thing.
drifting.
Because jumping and drifting and stuff still gives you boosts, right? So like, is grinding just gonna be better, or is it just comparable? Like it's really hard to tell.
I would think that's probably gonna be. Go ahead, Sigmund.
I don't know how I would feel about the game if the best way of moving forward would be continuously jumping and tracking.
Continuously jumping and tricking. Well, from what I can tell, holding down the jump button does slow you down, like for jumps. So like it's like slows you down and then gives you a boost. Slows you down and then gives you a boost. So like I don't know if it's like gonna be like the meta to do that. I think you're gonna use the jump to like do certain things. I don't think you're gonna hold it down all the time. Because I think what you're gonna do is you're gonna use it to avoid stuff, or you're gonna use it to like jump somewhere, like a shortcut, or like to jump over an obstacle, or to try to wall jump onto something that you want to get to a secret, like a different location up higher. I don't think it looks good enough to be like, I'm gonna spam this.
Right. I definitely think that the grinding is there's probably going to be a speed limit as far as the boost that it gives you. I think grinding is probably going to give you the same amount of boost you would get drifting or jumping.
Right. It may depend on the character. That is true. There may be characters that are just better at hopping.
Thought we were against spreading misinformation about the Switch too.
I'm not spreading misinformation. I'm doing theory crafting because I don't know everything.
Yeah.
That's not the same thing. I'm not saying that these are things. I'm saying that I'm not sure what they are.
Do not take any of this as fact.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a difference between saying this game's gonna suck because I know the truth of the world and like crap like that I hear people online talk about a lot.
Yeah.
But
we don't know if Cal's going to be in the game. That could just be propaganda from Big Nintendo.
Saying I'm not sure what character has what better stats and if there's going to be a character Kart meta thing is just fact. I have no idea. I didn't realize that the going backwards in time thing was only in single player because like the way they showed it off, it looked like they were like racing people, so I just thought it was gonna be in multiplayer and in it because they made it like it's a feature. This is a new feature. You can rewind time. So I thought it was just like this is a feature of the game. This game's all about multiplayer. Why wouldn't it be in multiplayer? That wasn't misinformation.
Yeah,
that was just them showing it off weird. And me not seeing the treehouse where they're like, no, it's only in only single player. Like, why would you showcase it as if it's like a new function then? So like going back to like just I guess tricks and grinding and things like that and just getting to new stuff, like do you guys think losing some of the mechanics from 8 are really gonna affect the game like in a negative way? Like how we could like because we're losing like 0G but we are gaining like wall riding.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go ahead, Sigmund. I'm formulating a thought.
Okay. I don't think 0G was enough of a noticeable. It was a feature that existed, and if you were aware of it, you could do something with it, but it didn't really feel like a feature that Mario Kart could never go back from, to be honest.
I agree with that. I don't think it's going to be a huge noticeable difference. I think it might take a little getting used to with some of the newer mechanics, but I think players going into Mario Kart World are probably going to be more focused on like what new stuff can I do.
Yeah.
They're not really going to think about the stuff they lost.
Personally, I think that some parts of the 0G experience caused nausea because like all of a sudden you were driving straight and then like the entire world is shifted sideways and you're just like
Yeah.
And I feel like
Yeah.
that is more of what it caused than anything else because all of a sudden you were like doing like loop-de-loops and shit like from a roller coaster rather than racing. And in an aspect, it's cool design for levels and stuff, but it's also like, is this necessary for the race to be good? Because like it's not like it changed whether or not the race is straight. Like adding a corkscrew doesn't change the fact that the race is straight. It just makes it a corkscrew for your visuals.
Yeah. I much prefer my racetracks to be gay.
It's true.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah. Need the rainbow.
Just like I don't think that 0G was like really a mechanic. A lot of people kind of like say it's a mechanic, but it was just a gimmick. It made it like it wasn't even really a thing. You're just magnetized to the course. Let's be honest. And even before they added 0G and stuff, we did that in other courses anyway. And I think wall riding kind of takes the place of that. I feel like you're basically doing that now. It's just that now you're going to be more 0G than you were before because now you're going to be able to be on the wall and more people are going to be like underneath you diagonally, which some race courses in Mario Kart did that already, but instead of jumping to them, you just kind of drove to the side of the wall. Now you have to jump for them and like actually try for them, like rather than for it to just be a path.
The thing with 0G is that despite everything, it's actually way less visual of a new feature compared to, like, for example, the glider or going underwater.
Yeah.
That's way more visual. That immediately changes how you approach the game.
There is a couple of cool sorry, go ahead.
Just compared to everything else. Like the only thing that visually changed was how you boost when you collide with something.
Yeah. Some of the cool new things that they've kind of mentioned is that weather is going to actually affect how you drive. So like water,
awesome.
like rain and stuff will make this courses more slippery and things like that. I'm actually kind of looking forward to stuff like that where like it's going to be different for like the weather. So that should be fun. Because driving on a course where it's like raining or driving a course where it's not raining or nighttime, like it will change how like the levels feel. Like, so that's even it's even more than what it was for like other games.
Is that going to get annoying though? I mean,
maybe
constant weather events, or the weather events going to be random depending on just whatever when you play a certain course? Because if that's the case, man, I could see that being kind of fun for a little while, but then I could see that being really overwhelming and kind of annoying when it's like, I just want to play this course, but every time we come here, it's always raining.
It's always raining.
Always raining.
I'm not 100%
It's the same
sure.
thing with Breath of the Wild and rain, where it was like. On the one hand, I find it really cool that I slip down walls when I'm climbing while it's raining, but at the same time, I just want to climb up here. Why does it have to rain right now?
Exactly. And there are going to be different biomes, you know, like you're going to have the ice biome, the desert biome that are obviously going to have some sort of weather or something going on constantly.
Imagine if the ice biome, when it rains, it gets even slipperier than
right.
Oh my god, that would be
just
hilarious.
Constantly slipping. That'd be crazy.
No, from what they said in their like first interviews, Lich Kirby, that there is just weather effects that can happen. Like you can get night and day at different time periods for levels, but you can also get like weather in the courses. I don't know if all the courses have weather, mind you. Some of them might not, because I don't know if it's gonna rain at the volcano, for God's sakes. Like, but But it would be interesting if they had like weather effects where like some places have like lightning or something, like random lightning bolts. Like that'd be kind of sick.
The bolt and lightning, very, very frightening.
Windy desert.
Yeah, see that would be fun. Like if they
I
had
wonder
like
how that.
if they had like specific weather events, that'd be cool. Like imagine if like you were on the volcano course and it had like eruptions.
Yeah. Although if you got notifications in game, you know, like if you're cruising around some other part of the map and it's like, oh, the volcano is starting to erupt, like getting those pop-up notifications would also get super annoying really fast.
That's true. It's more fun if it just happens while you're there randomly, like especially in open world. I think that'd be fine. For race courses, if it's just random or maybe a feature you can opt in and out of as a selection thing, which maybe they do have that. Who knows? I guess we'll see. And if it's not, they can always add it.
I hope that they do the night and day, like the night and day cycle, like also that. Like I hope. I don't know, it'd be weird if it or you know, because like if it does it every where it changes from night to day, like I could see that being kind of annoying too, but I also think that's probably the best approach, because what if they did it like Animal Crossing clock style where like it has to be daytime where you're at, and so if you never get to play during the day, you only play at night after you get off of work, you're only going to play night courses all the time. So I don't know, it'd be weird.
I believe the clock is not based on real time. It's like every 24 minutes a day.
Good, that's awesome. That's a better idea.
I remember the original Pokemon games where I'm just like, I have to stay up late to catch this Pokemon.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
But
that was actually very funny when I was playing Pokemon Moon, because Pokemon Moon has the time switched.
Oh
to
yeah.
your real time.
Yeah.
So it was always right day when I was playing because I was playing late.
That's so funny. I forgot about that. Let's see. So about like a bunch of items got nerfed. Did you guys hear about that?
No, haven't heard about any of the items yet. No more communism bullet.
Yeah, no. Communism bullet got nerfed.
Oh no.
So it not only does it not hit other people on the course now, so like you just drive and it doesn't touch them. It's also a lot shorter and a lot slower.
Wow.
So yeah, communism bullet got nerfed to the ground. They changed lightning. Lightning only hits people in front of you now. It no longer hits people behind you.
That's smart. I like that. I do like that idea.
So like now you can't try to like smuggle lightning to like third place or something and just murder everyone. It will only hit the two people in front of you. I think it's actually balanced. I think it should lightning should only hit who's in front of you. I think that makes sense. There are other item adjustments from what I can tell, but those are the ones I heard about the most being changed. Is there another one? I'm trying to think if there's another one I remember.
I'm sure they're going to be introducing some new items too.
There are some new items like we saw, but because they add like the ice flowers and like the hammers that you can throw now. Ice flowers are fun because they're like the fire flowers, except they just encase you in ice.
I know that's gonna be so frustrating, and I'm here for it. I'm excited for that.
I'm interested in whether or not they add some sort of ice chill effect after you get hit, and then make your like, driving more slippery after you get hit because you got frozen. That would be cool. I hope they kind of do that. That'd be cool. The Hammer Bro one's interesting because they kind of like stick on the map for a second. So like you throw them, and they're basically like you can just build a quick wall for a second that just blocks people if you throw it right, which is kind of cool. But they have basically tried to make it to where like a lot of catch-up mechanics don't seem to affect like people behind you, which is good. Like I think that's fine. Maybe it makes sense.
Yeah.
They really have like always been very like brutal for people in like last place and to get hit by something that's supposed to be hitting people ahead of them.
Right.
So I think that's fine. I think that basically is gonna help a lot of people. Lightning is also not as strong as it used to be too. They also made it a little weaker. It doesn't just shrink you forever. Now it kind of stuns you and shrinks you for like a second, and then you just keep driving. So it's not as strong as it was either. So lightning might not be as rare an item anymore.
Yeah.
Because before it was like a decently rare item. It didn't pop up a lot. I think maybe it will pop up more now as an item because it didn't before.
Quicker recovery to get people back like into the
Racing.
race
See,
instead.
I have noticed that like a lot of weapons or things don't seem to take you out of the races long anymore. Like you definitely start driving faster and seem to accelerate faster from getting hit by stuff than you used to. So there isn't as much stun on like getting hit by stuff from what I can tell. Because there were certain items in the game like bombs. Bombs would stun the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bombs.
So it looks like there's
Lightning.
this more recovery from getting hit by stuff, which is good because I think that keeps the pace of the game better, and it doesn't feel as bad being murdered by something.
Exactly. You're not losing so much of a lead. You know what I mean? Like you could be in first and then get hit by something, and then you're in third, and then a lightning bolt goes off, and now all of a sudden you're in ninth place.
Yeah, because that would suck. Because usually, like, you get hit by like 2 things, and you can just go from first to last, like really fast in 8. Now it feels like there are also mechanics for dodging things now too, because you can jump whenever you want. So you can do things like try to jump over explosions and things like that. Which I think there's gonna be like a lot of skill checks in this game with like just being able to dodge stuff. Like using the jump mechanics to dodge things, I think is gonna be like a true test of like, are you like a lot better at this game, or being able to get like first like more often is gonna be like your ability to dodge stuff.
You can still get Mario Karted, but skill has never been more important. There
Exactly.
you go.
That's
a good way to put it. Yeah.
That's basically, yeah. There are definitely a lot more mechanics in the game to help you just, if you're good, stay good. Basically, like you have more ability to like succeed now, and I think that's fine.
Dan just wanted to say skill issue more often. It's true.
I mean, basically, yeah. I think nerfing abilities and how much they affect you, I think is a good thing because a game's already a fiesta. Let's be honest. Like,
If you sucked at Mario Kart before, you're probably still gonna suck at Mario Kart now.
well, maybe not because
That's
like,
me.
I will say
I'll be
like
in 5th place.
I will say that because the courses aren't as brutal now because they don't have as much drop offs with like turns and stuff. Like, it won't feel as punishing like to get hit by stuff, so you might not be like off as many. Because before you could get comboed, like the courses were thin, and if you got hit by stuff, you could get hit by something, teeter, and then fall off the cliffs.
Exactly. So the course is more open. The tracks are wider, right? And I know the Lakitu is going to keep you on pace, but still, with the courses being that larger, I feel like I'm concerned that there may still be a large deficit in space between players.
Yeah.
And so that kind of takes away from, and I'm sure they're working on balancing out those items to make it more fair and to make people closer. But like we were talking about earlier, there's going to be a lot more secrets, a lot more tiered levels of like where you can go. So if somebody goes underneath the mountain, somebody's going over the mountain at the same time, like how are those items going to affect like where they meet back up on the other side?
Yeah, where they can find you and hit you and stuff. Or will red shells just like floop and just not hit anything because you jumped high? Or you're up on a railing somewhere, and the red shell's like, "What do I do?"
Yeah.
Part of that is part of that is circumvented by just having more players, right?
Yeah.
You might miss that one specific player, but you might hit someone else.
That's also another thing. Like, being in first is probably the most dangerous it's ever been, because you got to remember, instead of 12 people maybe getting a blue shell, now you have 23 people maybe having a blue shell.
Yeah.
So like, even more so, like, there are things that are going to be hitting you or being behind you. And I think that's another reason that they nerfed how much like items hit you for, like how much stun there is, because now you might get hit by more crap. Because there's just more people.
That too. I didn't think about that. Yeah, you could get hit by 20 items at once. You know what I mean? If you're in the right position, if you're in second or third, you might end up getting hit with like 6 or 7 items at the same time.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I feel like
for me, yeah.
No, good.
For me, it's like in Mario Kart 8, it was always second place was kind of the strongest, right?
Yeah.
Because Mario Kart 8 was so aggressive, and first place was always the target of the most abilities, and second place was always. Yeah, it's now a lot less aggressive in that sense, while also balancing out the strength of the players throughout the game,
Yeah.
instead of making it that
It's
first and place are kind of the strongest just by where they are.
yeah. They basically made it to where sandbagging doesn't work as well either. Like where you can't just
Yeah.
sandbag and just catch up and like that seems fine. They tried to make that less of a thing in 8, but it just didn't work as well. But like they can't you can't just grab like communism bullet and drive and get the first and then just win like because you have
Yeah.
bullet or lightning.
Well, going back to what Dan said, where he's like skill is going to come into play here. I feel like Mario Kart 8. I feel like as long as you don't hit the walls, you know what I mean, and you can make the turns, I feel like it's random. It's all RNG as to who is actually going to come out on top. And I feel like with Mario Kart World, it is going to be more skill based. And
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. You know what I mean? We'll have to experience it first before we can give a real.
Yeah, I feel like nerfing
review of
items
that.
and making things bigger is like definitely gonna make it to where the driving matters the most. Like how tight you're actually like hooking corners that are there like will matter. Because they won't be as tight as they were before. So now you don't have to worry about falling off. Now you have to worry about
Right.
people just being with you, like the pack staying with you. Because a lot of times in Mario Kart, like 8, sometimes you just get that one person who's just like so far ahead that no one was ever gonna catch them.
Yeah.
Now I feel like that's
Yeah.
probably gonna be less of a thing. I feel like the
I hope
middle of
so.
the pack is gonna be like a chaos field, basically.
I agree. I think, and I hope it works out that way because again, the courses are going to be bigger. So I mean, if you get hit with an item, you might end up very far away from that next person in line.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if the mechanic for the communism bullet, because you said they nerfed it, if instead of it going by distance, like it just automatically puts you like 1 or 2 spots ahead. You know what I mean? Like just to kind of put you back in the fray of things instead of knocking everybody out of the way for a certain distance. You know what I mean?
The way that worked in 8 was like the further back you were, like in position, the longer it lasted, which is
Yeah.
like crazy overpowered for something.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even balanced for like being in first place because you could be in first place and still use the bullet and go a pretty decent distance and first with the bullet, which
Yeah.
made no sense.
And invulnerable.
and invulnerable, and you hit anything, and you just it's a crazy power up. I understand why they nerfed it, but there are also other things that they added.
The party aspect of Mario Kart, but I'm looking forward to tryharding. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There are other
I am
things that
too.
they've added too, that are like part of the like side courses. Like I was saying before, a lot of the stuff that they added, like between courses, like the non-main courses, there are things in there like special power-ups, ways to catch up. Like we saw the truck where you could drive your cart into the truck and all of a sudden you're driving a friggin' semi truck down the highway and it's blasting through everybody. And that's not part of like the regular like race courses. That's only on the highway sections. Stuff like that's interesting because like the highways have a whole different dynamic for racing compared to the courses. The courses are very like you're going around the course. The highways are just all different ways they're set up based on wherever you are, and they all have kind of different mechanics between the courses, which is really interesting. And I think that's going to affect just a lot of placement stuff. Like I think that placements like for getting to the course are going to like be very drastically different.
I for one am glad that we moved on from communism bullets to capitalism semi trucks.
Exactly.
Capitalism semi truck. I love it.
We actually have no idea how long the trucks last, or if they even have a lasting time. We just saw people like plow through people with them in the things, but they didn't. I never saw them despawn or anything. I'm not sure if they have like health or how those.
Yeah.
trucks
What if
work.
it turns you? Oh my God! What if it turns you into a boss, right?
Yeah.
Like, and other players you out with items. That'd be insane. I think that'd be too overpowered. I don't think they would do that, but imagining it would be really cool.
Give me the Bowser music.
Yes, you got to be taken out.
Yeah, that would be fun though.
Or like with the open world aspect, some sort of flight mechanic that, like, you know, instead of the communism bullet, you get airborne for a little bit.
90% common as timer based. I mean, that's probably fair.
It probably is.
Very likely.
There's some sort of limit for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of bosses, do we think there will be bosses? We hadn't had boss fights in Mario Kart since
maybe in the open world. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'd like that if there is. Because like what I kind of hope there is for like a boss possibility in the open world is if you go visit the courses in the open world, maybe like there's like a boss thing in the race courses there, like a boss quest or something. And that
again, wasn't that a mechanic in Diddy Kong?
Yes.
Weren't there like bosses for each area? Yeah. So again, that would be really cool. I would love to see that.
I'd like that.
Yeah. But then how would they do that? There's 50 characters from Mario Kart. Like, what characters would be bought? Would it be characters that are choosable or playable characters, or would they be characters that are only in there as bosses?
Special costumes, Dry Bowser, Metal Bowser,
Metal Bowser, Bowser Jr.
I mean, there's definitely things that they could do. They could do the Koopalings for one.
Yeah. Maybe some of the bosses from Odyssey.
Yeah.
Would be cool too.
The Brutals. Why are Brutals not racers? What the hell? I just realized that. Where are my Brutals? Where are the Odyssey characters? Where's my hat? Where's my hat?
We got charging
cars.
Charging Chuck is a playable character. Like, so when was the last time you saw Charging Chuck in a Mario game?
I was gonna say I want a Charging Chuck in Mario Maker so bad.
Yeah,
that'd be so fun because they do so many things in Mario's like world, like Super Mario World. They did so many things. Charging Chucks, they threw items, they charged at you, they did these jumping jack things, and they had so many mechanics on that one character. Never again.
No, not all characters are revealed yet, Lich.
Technically, we did see Charging Chucks in Mario Odyssey. They were in Mario Odyssey.
Were they? I don't. Where at? What world? Do you...
the Bowser Moon World. Yeah.
Oh.
The Moon Cave.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. It's been a while since I played Odyssey, though.
I was happy to see them. I was like, oh my god, is that a Charging Chuck? So good.
Game's so good. Yeah, it is. It's so good.
I remember I've learned some speedrun tricks for Odyssey a while ago because I hate the game so much that I want to play it less.
True.
That's a
take.
That's an angry speedrunner right there. One of the strats because I hate the game so much. That's me and playing Get to Work. I was like, I just want to.
I want to play it faster so I can stop playing.
Have a love-hate relationship of that game, like with Odyssey.
True. Oh man. All right. So, is there anything else we want to talk about, mechanics or just gameplay wise, or anything? Anything else in the game we want to talk about?
I think I brought up everything that I want to talk about.
I mean, mechanics. I guess I'm still kind of curious about how much drifting will be a thing in this game compared to 8. Because I do think 8 was drifting in 8 was a fun part of the game.
That was drifting in the game.
Yeah, it was the game.
Like, the whole reason that some people got ahead of like everyone else in that game is because of just mini drive boosting constantly. Like, just give me like random boosts, like boop, 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 going back and forth and giving themselves like drive boost constantly. I kind of hate the bunny hop technique. I hope that's not in the game. I hope people can't just drive boost bunny hop like in 8 because I think that was a broken mechanic, and I feel like that didn't make it fun because if you were just really good at that one technique, you could just be so far ahead of people without items. Like, it was kind of stupid.
I feel like drifting was kind of broken in 8 too, though, because you could start a drift and drift all the way through a straightaway before the next turn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like there was a little
I'm
bit of
hoping
imbalance
I'm
there.
hoping that drifting is nerfed in the new game. That's kind of what I want.
I agree.
I think it had its time in 8, but I think it was a broken mechanic and people abused it to be like really ahead of people, and I didn't really like that. It was vehicle
Yeah.
dependent, but
I-
that's not the point. That just means that people that didn't have that vehicle or knew how to do the drifting mechanic didn't get that benefit. It was a very unbalanced because of that.
What if
I
they
still
punished
want-
you? I'm sorry, go for it, Sigmund.
I still want drifting to be like an important part of the game, but I also agree it should be nerfed. Like it was too broken in 8.
I think that drifting should be it's stronger the longer you're able to hold the drift, and it's not just super strong constantly, because that's kind of why people were able to abuse it, because you like mini drifts, like back and forth, just like turning left and right, left and right, left and right, and just jumping and getting drifts. You got a really good boost from that, and if you just kept doing it, like there was no cooldown or anything, and like I feel like there should be. Like
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. I feel like there should be a cooldown. You should be punished for using it too often, right?
Yeah.
Like you do it around turns, and you can only hold it for so long before it'll stall you out or do something for doing it too long.
Yeah, I feel like if you do like multiple in a row really quickly, it should stall you. Like I feel like that's true, because that's the thing. Like the mini boosters that, and the fact that there's no cooldown, and you can just constantly drift back and forth over and over again to get boost, 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 and it's like more of like a glitch than it is a strategy. Like
Yeah.
so like I don't know. I
agree with
I'd
that.
prefer if there were cooldowns for it and that you had to use it for turns, but which is what drifting is for.
Right.
Yeah.
You can use it through turns, but then yeah, it'll punish you if you try to use it like constantly throughout other areas.
Yeah.
Or like you
Um,
can't use it in underwater areas. Like, you know what I mean? Like make it feel more natural and like realistic.
Yeah. Make it more like what it's supposed to be, a drift, like not just
Yeah.
a mush. Because the way that people use it in 8 is it's basically just mini mushrooms. They're just using
Yeah.
booster mushrooms, but without needing the items. That's all it was,
Yeah.
which was like just
It-
unfair.
Yeah, they should have it to where you just use it for sharp turns and stuff as like a means to get past that
It's actually
turn.
one of
yeah.
the reasons I hated doing community nights in 8. Whenever I did them with like Opto or anyone in like Leaf Gang, because you'd get that one guy who was just super great at doing the mini boosters, and he would be in
every
head the whole
time.
time. He'd be in head
Yep.
the whole night. The whole night he's always in first. Like that guy's always in first because like he's just doing that glitch.
It's actually why I learned more about like drifting and stuff, just so I can somewhat catch up with that. Like I'm still not nearly as good or know all the glitches, but just that you even can catch up, right?
Yeah.
And that's definitely something I agree should be nerfed. I still enjoy drifting. I think it's a cool mechanic, and
Yeah.
I like a lot of the concepts behind it, but it's just it is too broken.
Yeah.
It's
I
too
think
broken.
drifting should be like tricks. Tricks are like if you get them with the right timing for them, they give you a boost. If you get the right timing for a drift, they give you a boost. If you just spam it, it should give you nothing. It should give you
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Should give you heartburn. There's the real mechanic.
Yeah.
Okay. One last thing before we call it then. That wasn't actually on our list, but I feel like I might want to mention it. Music. What do
Oh,
you think about the music so far?
music.
Ooh.
I haven't heard a lot of the music yet. I've seen I've obviously heard a little bit of it. But I mean it's very Mario from what I've heard.
It's a good assessment. Bold of you to assume I have heartburn. Well, I mean, if you don't and you boost too often in the levels, you will have heartburn.
Bold of you to assume I have a heart.
Haptic acid reflux coming in.
But like, a lot of the music I've heard so far is like not specifically tied to the tracks. And to be fair, a lot of the music I've heard so far was in the open world. I haven't heard
Right.
a lot of the music in the races because on the race tracks while you're actually racing, I do kind of wish they would actually use remixes of the typical theme of the stage.
Yeah.
like Airship Fortress, for example. I'm not just saying it because I really like Airship Fortress.
I can't actually remember this, but like in Mario Kart 8, were there more than one track per like music track on a course? I can't remember. Like, was it just one track? Like one music
I
track
think
per
so.
course?
Yeah.
I kind of hope it's not that then. I kind of hope there's more than one song per race course because like that's one of the things I like about Smash Brothers is like stages have multiple songs, and it kind of makes it like feel better playing them more than once, like because you just don't get like this one song playing over and over and over and over again.
Right. Dan said it literally has a cover of every Mario game ever made, so that's gonna be a pretty huge track list.
Okay, so that means there are more than one song then. Like
Yeah.
that's good. I actually kind of hope that's the case. As much as I love hearing Coconut Mall every 5 seconds in 8, you know, it's
You
great.
just got Coconut Mall.
It's like it's nice that like maps like in 8 had theme songs, but it also like they do get very repetitive. Like after like if this it's popular like stage. So I like the idea that they have like thematical music, but I also like the idea that there's just more songs.
Yeah.
The way
Yeah,
the
I
way
see
they
that.
balance that in Smash Brothers, by the way, is that songs that are made for a stage have a higher chance to play on that stage. That is how they balance that in Smash Brothers. So when you play a stage, thematically, that the music that's made for that stage has a higher chance to play, for like a bunch of the stages, and then it has like a small chance to play any song, like a bunch of other songs.
In Smash, you could also adjust the likelihood of a song.
Yes.
Yeah, you can choose the balance.
Yeah.
Which I think is a really good feature.
Yeah, that's an
If they
amazing
do that,
feature.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Because then someone like me could still just choose to listen to like Airship Fortress every time I play on Airship Fortress, and
Well, so do we
someone
think
else
it's gonna be? Is it gonna be independent for everybody in Mario Kart World? The
Maybe.
song that you're listening to may not necessarily be the song that everybody else is listening to.
Maybe.
Because that would be cool. You could pick your own music. I mean, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
That would be very good.
I mean, Nintendo did just come out with their new music app, so that's pretty sick. Their new music app, if I can get that running on my computer, I might actually try to play, like, if I could turn the music off in Mario Kart World or other Nintendo games, I might just play Nintendo music playlists while playing Nintendo games in the future. Because, like, they do have just, like, the musical library for their games now.
He said it's an okay app.
Yeah.
I agree with it. It's an okay app. They don't even allow you to sort your own playlist, so
that's fine.
Do with that information as you wish.
Oh, that's sad.
It's still good. Like
Yeah.
the music is great quality. It sounds good. It's
Yeah, that's fine.
It's an okay app.
I mean, we all know that
Not perfect.
Smash Brothers is the best music app because you can play so many songs in that
True.
game.
True.
But yeah. Anything else? Music? Other things?
No, I think that covered. I mean, from my corner of the screen, I feel like we covered pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Segment, you got anything?
I don't really have anything left to say. I mean, again, I think this is a very good. Like, I like that they're doing something experimental after 8. Because if they just did 9, like just a straightforward 9, I think it would not nearly have the same impact.
Yeah. I like that they're going with a different kind of theme for this game. Like it's that they said that they didn't want to just make Mario Kart 9 because like they feel like they've made like it's a race level course and they just wanted to go from course to course. They really wanted to make this different, which I think is cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I respect the option to not just make Mario Kart 9 because they could have just made like Mario Kart 9, which is basically just Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Exactly.
I feel like Mario Kart 8 was great and it had like a really long shelf life. I think everyone's played the shit out of that game. I think it's cool to be playing something that's not the same.
Something
they
new.
Couldn't have just done 9. Like that's something I've been thinking for a while already. That they couldn't just do 9.
Yeah.
So I'm very glad I was right with that.
Yeah, I agree.
That they didn't just
because they could have just been like Mario Kart 9, everybody's here, and that would have been like fine. But you know,
I mean, again, marketing wise, it's a good idea because like Mario Kart World, it's a game that you want to play with your friends instead of just a regular Mario entry.
You know
what I mean, into the series.
one small funny thing I found out about Mario Kart World, like when you Google Mario Kart World, you get a lot of the theme park ride from like Universal Studios images and search results rather than the actual game, which I thought was funny.
That is pretty funny. They don't want you to be able to research information about it.
Nintendo Land, come now.
Yep.
Yeah, the Mario Kart ride in Nintendo Land, top tier, by the way. Virtual reality roller coaster where you get to like shoot people like shells and shit. That's super fun, amazing. I love that that ride. Such a cool.
Is that
ride.
what's next? We're gonna get Mario Kart VR at home after Mario Kart World.
Bro, I actually one
already
of my predictions was that the Switch 2 was gonna have VR support, which I still am not convinced it doesn't.
I mean, doesn't Switch Switch has the lab or whatever, the Switch lab or where you get the cardboard headset.
Yeah, I'm waiting for them to just bring
sure
out.
does.
I'm waiting for them to bring out something like a headset that's like Switch 2 VR. I'm waiting for it.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen.
Oh, you don't like the 480p camera? How about that? If they do it, it has to be modeled after the Virtual Boy headset. 'Cause that would be amazing.
Exactly.
That would be funny, but I don't think Nintendo would actually do that.
No, they wouldn't.
Marketing
Their worst failure. Yeah, that would be a terrible idea.
No, they would make a regular version and then they would have like a retro version that they would sell for twice the price. That looks like it.
Yeah,
that's what they would do.
That's more like it.
All right, I think we're done. We talked our things. We said our stuff. Good thing. Silas, what do you think?
Wow, what an insightful episode full of complete nonsense. That concludes today's Social Tests. Come back again next week for another episode of Herbs and Spices. You have no choice.
All right, then.
You heard the robot. You don't have a choice.
You
will
choice.
be here next Sunday. I will make sure of it.
Yes,
All right.
absolutely.
That was a fun episode. I'm glad we got to talk about Mario Kart. Let's find a raid target, I guess. Oh my god.
Yeah. Thank you guys all for coming out and watching. Make sure to go find the YouTube channel.
The subliminal mind control seems to be working.
Oh, thank you for the follow.
I don't know where the YouTube channel is.
Oh, it's somewhere. Who do we want to raid?
Who's live? There's this nerd called Hexadecimal. Wait, I made the joke yesterday already.
I know, right? True every time.
Looking.
I mean, Shoujo was on.
I was Hexen's on. Yeah, Shoujo's on.
Yeah, I haven't read
Ashley...
Shoujo in forever. Let's read Shoujo. It's been like a million years since I rated Shoujo.
Composer's on.
Let's read Shoujo. It's been a while.
Sounds good.
All right, everybody. It's been a fun stream. Everyone say goodbye, chat.
Goodbye, chat.
And we'll catch you next time. Next week, Sunday, another podcast and other stuff during the week for me and everybody else here. So you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Mario Kart and Spices. I thought the raid, message, and spices. With your emotes here.